wait. Shop Wayfair's Way Day now through April 27th to score the best deals in home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto-pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Oh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the Neighborly Done Right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed.
Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing,
a Neighborly company.
Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
We'll take the snap. Back on a play fake, deep drop, looking deep, going to throw deep down the near side. That ball's going to be, what do we got? Intercepted?
What a pick.
It is an interception for Arizona. Is that Treydan Stukes?
Yes, it is.
Treydan Stukes picks it off, takes it right away.
Rolling in the field is an interception by the defense.
From the intended receiver, third turnover for ASU tonight.
Timeout.
That is a big-time play by Treydan Stukes. He turned into the receiver, went up in the air, high-pointed the ball, snatched it out of the air. That's an incredible play by Treydan Stukes. He's going to make himself some money on Sundays, let me tell you.
Fourth interception of the year for Treydan Stukes.
Going to make himself some money on Sunday, being a second-round pick in the NFL draft. We might have some decisions to make about who we are on Sundays in the fall. Are we going to continue to be Carolina Panthers? Or are we going to be Los Angeles Raiders or Las Vegas Raiders? See, I'm still living in the 1990s.
You're living in the 80s on that one. That was in the 80s. I have never.
Well, let me tell you. I tell people this all the time. There was nothing better than like being able to roll out of bed on Sunday in college and walk across the street and go to an NFL football game. That was so much fun. It's like, do I have anything? Do I have any classes? Do I have any studying to go? Let me just walk over and see if I can get me a scalp ticket.
Catch me
to
a
see
Raiders
the Raiders game. Exactly. That was a whole lot of fun back in college. Yeah. So hey, exciting weekend. We'll get to those decisions later on in the summer. Maybe we'll let y'all decide whether we stay with the Carolina Panthers and Tetro McMillan and Lathan Ransom, or maybe we switch things up and go with the Las Vegas Raiders, Treydan Stukes, Dalton Johnson, and Mr. Mendoza. Who knows? Well, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out when we get there. Seven Arizona Wildcats drafted this past weekend. Or was it 4 Arizona Wildcats drafted this weekend? We got to talk about that too, because we are in this new era of college football where 4 guys that played for your team last year got drafted into the National Football League this past weekend, but 7 guys who have played for your football program over the course of the last 5 years got drafted into the National Football League this weekend. And then the thing I said about this on Saturday, if you caught our show, we were live out at the showcase, the University of Arizona Football Spring Showcase. What a great event it was, and what a great show we had. If you missed that show, head on over to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com, and or download our app and listened to our spring showcase, we had a ton of interviews. In fact, I may replay a couple of those interviews for you today because we don't have any. Well, I think we're going to have one guest here lined up here a little bit later, but we may also give you some of those because we had some really great conversations just about college football, the history of Arizona, where things are now, and a lot of storytelling, which is always the most fun thing when you get the fellas together for alumni weekend, is the storytelling of those, like they say, the lie telling that comes out. But 7 or 4, how do you feel about that? At 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. The thing I said is this. Look, we've got to accept where we are. We've got to accept that, and I've said for a long time that this Arizona is a developmental program. And what that means is that you're going to have guys that are going to come here who probably don't have a whole lot of offers to zero offers. They're going to come here, they're going to make a name for themselves, and then they may go on somewhere else. Now, in the instance of what happened here in this situation, all of those guys didn't necessarily leave to go, quote, somewhere else. They left with the coaching staff that brought them here. So that's a little bit different than, say, maybe some of the guys that left and went to other places. Like we saw, for lack of a better name, Gunnar Maldonado went to Northwestern, came here, and then went and finished his career at Kansas State. Gunnar, I do not believe, got drafted over the weekend. And I don't know that he signed with anybody yet as an undrafted free agent. But that's different than what happened in the case of the 3 other Wildcats that got drafted in Jonah Coleman, Takario Davis, and Ephesians Prysock, who all left to follow the Jed Fish staff to Seattle to play for the Washington Huskies. So how are you defining that as an Arizona Wildcat football fan today? Because, look, 7 guys. That's only the third time in the history of this program. 122 teams, as Danny Gonzalez likes to say. We are about to embark on Team 123. In the history of this program, the previous 122 teams, only 2 other times has this program produced 7 draft picks. I mean, there have been years recently when we couldn't produce any draft picks. We were like, man, are we going to have anybody drafted in this selection process? There were some lean years. 17, 20, 22, 23, where nobody from Arizona's name was called. Nobody. And to have 7, I think if you're Arizona, and granted, the team itself, and I've talked about this as it relates to baseball forever, because baseball is a similar sport in that you get kids that'll come in here, play maybe a year, 2 years, they'll go somewhere else. A lot of guys, we've had some guys that played here for a year, went back to JC, because you can be drafted out of JC after 2 years versus 3 in Division I. Willie Calhoun comes to mind in that respect. Willie played a freshman year here, went back to JC, and then got drafted, went to the big leagues. A lot of those guys that left here, played here maybe a freshman year, sophomore year, went and played somewhere else and got to the big leagues. They don't necessarily recognize those guys, and I've always thought that's wrong. You should, if a kid played for your school, you should recognize him as one of your professionals if he gets to that point. That's just my thought on it. You may have a different thought on that, 520-848-1290. But I think, if you're Arizona football, I think you want to be all over celebrating 7 guys. All over that. Because, again, 1973, 1987, the only other time that 7 guys that put on that Cardinal and Navy were selected in one NFL draft. 7 guys. Dragon Ball is here with me today. Dragon Ball, how do you feel about that? Did we have 7 Arizona Wildcats drafted this weekend, or did we have 4 Arizona Wildcats drafted this weekend?
Well, let's go ahead and put that a bit more in-depth conversation. So let's go ahead and say if, let's say in the future, moving forward here, let's say somebody that was on the bench for a long period of time, maybe had a couple of sparing snaps here and there. Maybe they go ahead and go to a different program. They get more playing time, get better opportunities, and then they get drafted. Can the Wildcats really claim that player? I would say personally in that situation, not really. It's a situation where they got lost in the depth and they really didn't have a chance to really go ahead and show out. Now, in the cases of, say, the Gunnar Maldonados and all these other guys, which, by the way, I did check it. Gunnar is going to a rookie minicamp invite with the Kansas City Chiefs, so he is going to a NFL camp here for the rookie camps coming up here already next week. There's already going to be mini camps next week.
Well, that's the great thing about the draft, man. You're right out of the draft and into the mini camps. I remember
we got to get you fitted for your jersey and everything.
We got guys coming in. We got practices next weekend.
But for situations like that where Gunnar Maldonado or a Jonah Coleman, where these guys are big reps takers and they're in the rotation a lot. With Jonah Coleman, again, it's a situation where in a running back system, you're really playing everybody nowadays. You don't really have the opportunity to go with a bell cow running back situation anymore. You got to play all 4 backs that you have suited up. So in those situations, yes, I would say that you can absolutely claim those guys. But if a guy isn't really getting a whole lot of time and a whole lot of rep on the field, and then they go on to be drafted somewhere, that's like almost claiming that, like, yeah, I helped my kid with their science project. No, you bought the poster board. That's all you did. You didn't actually help them make it. Don't take the credit from them.
Okay, so
you can't do that.
Well, so okay, that's an interesting way because I'd never even thought about it from that perspective. Dragon Ball, where you're talking about a kid that maybe came in here, and again, kid that came in here and played maybe a year or was on the roster for a year, but never really played, and then went somewhere else and was drafted at their next school. I never even really thought about it from that perspective. I don't know yet that we've got any of those type of kids that have come out of this program. The ones that have left to this point have all been guys that have gone on and started at these, and especially the 3 that we're talking about with the Washington Huskies. All those guys started here and were major contributors here. And that goes back to my initial point that I talked about on Saturday. You cannot talk about the 10-win team in 2023 without mentioning those 3 players. You cannot talk about that team. You cannot talk about the success of that 23 team without talking about Jonah Coleman, without talking about Ephesians Prysock, without talking about Takario Davis, who I hope learned how to catch the ball in Washington. I didn't watch many of their games, but I don't know that he had a whole bunch of interceptions there. I know that was an issue down here. But you can't talk about a 10-win team in Arizona Wildcats football history without talking about those guys. So they definitely obviously fit that criteria. Now, in the future, we may get some guys that, like you mentioned, who maybe didn't play here, didn't play much, and left and went on and found their names somewhere else. Although, again, when I say I categorize Arizona as a developmental program, this is I'm saying that from the standpoint that you bring in guys, you allow them to start and play and make a name for themselves, and then they go on somewhere else. There may be that outlier of a kid that doesn't play, but I don't know that we're going to see a lot of, quote, those types of guys, I think, Dragon Ball, come through this program and then go on and become starters elsewhere.
Right.
I think most of the guys that leave here were starters that are going to go and be either, if not starters, major contributors at, say, a larger program.
All right. Well, so in that regard, though, let's go ahead and put it in this perspective as well. Does Central Michigan get to claim J.J. Watt as a Hall of Famer for their program?
Ooh.
Or does Florida claim Cam Newton? Since that was the first university that he went to, and he was recruited and committed to that.
Yeah, I would think this. Did he play there? Did he play there?
Here's another question: does Duquesne get credit for T.J. McConnell? I don't know. Arizona's very, very protective of TJ. They're very protective of TJ. I don't know if they're going to be willing to share that with Duquesne.
We should probably have. And again, this is a conversation because
should Washington get credit for Sidney Stewart?
We asked. There you go. That's you're asking very valid questions.
And that was Chris on the phone just now asked that question.
You're asking very valid questions right now because we talked to our guy Adam. I forget his name. Adam Lucas. From North Carolina last week, and I specifically asked him, how does the North Carolina fan base feel about Caleb Love? And he said if Caleb Love came back and was introduced at a North Carolina game next year, he would be cheered because of what he did to take that team to the Final Four. So, again, very valid. This is the era we're in. Well, we have to ask these questions. I asked him. I was like, I told him when I prefaced the question. I said, I want to know what homecoming they're going to. You know, what homecoming does Keyshawn Johnson go to? Does he go to Arizona's homecoming because he came out of here, or does he go to the homecoming of the team he helped lead to a Final Four? He didn't lead this. He didn't help lead this team to a Final Four. He helped lead San Diego State to a Final Four. So is he going more to their homecomings than ours? These are the kind of questions we have to ask ourselves.
It depends on who pays for the booking. Who pays for the booking?
But yet you're right. Sidney Stewart, who's been, one hell of a catcher in a line of great catchers in this program at the University of Arizona. But, yeah, started her career. And I don't know the numbers off the top of my head.
I can give them to you right now.
That she had in Washington, but I think they were pretty decent.
2 years at Washington, started 44 of 45 games during her sophomore season, a .321 batting average. It was named a All-Pacific Region third-teamer in 2024. You know, this is she definitely was not a bench warmer like in my description of what I was talking about, but this is a situation where, okay, half her career was great at Washington, and the other half of her career she's had here at Arizona has been almost just as good, if not better. Who claims?
Yeah.
Who is the most beloved parent? That is the question. Who is the parent that gets the first hug in the door?
Who does she claim? Because again, we retweeted a post that Scotty Graham, running backs coach here under the Jetfish organization, put out when Jonah Coleman got drafted by the Denver Broncos, and it was half the pictures were Arizona and I'd say maybe not half. But there was at least 4 or 5 pictures of him, those two together here at Arizona, around another set of pictures of them together at Washington. So again, you cannot totally delete that aspect of, one, that young man's career, but two, also what that young man did for your program. Because what have we been talking about? This is one of the better. This whole Noah Fifita era has, two seasons in which you've won 9+ games. You can't talk about that first 9-win season without mentioning Jonah Coleman playing behind Noah Fifita, 2 young guys who came out of nowhere in that 2023 season to help bring this program back to respectability, coming off 20 straight losses. You cannot talk about that season without mentioning those guys who were drafted out of Washington this weekend. All right, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We'll get more into the NFL draft this past weekend and the 7 guys that got selected. There's a lot of NCAA news today in terms of the Arizona Wildcats. The NCAA selections for tennis happened today. Beach volleyball yesterday. We'll update you on that. I think my opinion of the Arizona baseball team has changed since Friday. I I still had a lot of confidence going into that BYU series. I don't know that I have a ton of confidence that this team has what it takes to get it done and even win a short series anymore. I've been parroting that for the last 4 weeks, that I thought if they get in, they can do some damage. I just don't know. I don't know about this baseball team anymore, but we'll dive into that. I don't think Chip Hale knows about this baseball team as well. We'll dive into all that. Want to hear your thoughts. 520 if you were out at High Corbett this weekend. If you were out at Hill and Brand for senior weekend, the ladies pummeled a lowly Houston team. I guess that's the kind of team you'd like for senior weekend. It was pretty easy, to say the least, for those ladies. So they'll head out to Utah this weekend to finish out the regular season before the Big 12 tournament next weekend. We'll dive into all that. DK on the Sports Tip. We've got Cricket back, and she's getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions reported Country Club in 5th Street and Country Club collision there. Road work also slowing at the intersection. Backups northbound on Country Club at 5th Street. Earlier crash at Fairview and Miracle Mile in Fairview. And for your weather, 53 the overnight low, 85 and sunny tomorrow, and 81 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. Get 10% off new Catalyst fencing solutions when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a select DeWalt miter saw. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
In Tucson, a lot of people make their living on construction sites, on the road, or working in warehouses across town. If you're injured at work, you have rights. Call 520-567-8000. Cruz and Associates, a firm you know, help you can trust.
It's DK on the Sports Tip. Did you hear what we were talking about? The kids who actually have the money to go out there and play tennis. Why haven't we produced any of them? DK on the Sports Tip, Monday through Fridays at 3, right here on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Breaking news for your home. Way Day is here. It's Wayfair's big sale, where you can score the best deals in home, like up to 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Way Day long. You won't find better deals for your home anywhere else. We're talking furniture, decor, rugs, and more, all at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Way Day. So don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Way Day now through April 27th to score the best deals in home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Ugh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the neighborly done right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed. Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing,
a neighborly company.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong?
I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money, so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000. Use code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000.
Hey, it's David Kelly, DK on the Sports Tip. Don't forget to download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. It slaps. We've got full coverage of the Wildcats, the Suns, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, Pima College. Download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Treydan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Treydan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Treydan today, 520-200-1600. That's 520-200-1600.
Annuities, non-advisory products. DBA Treydan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at TreydanWealth.com.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Again, he'll take the snap straight back to throw. Time, waiting. Fires deep down the far side to Henderson, and it's knocked away at the 2-yard line. Oh, what a beautiful play out there by Treydan Stukes.
That's great coverage because it looked like Stukes was beat, but he recovered while the ball was in the air, made a huge play on the ball, swatted it down at the very last second. You can't do it any better than that.
You know, cornerbacks have always been maybe my favorite players on the teams, and that probably goes back to growing up in the 80s as a Browns fan, and we had two dynamic bump and run corners and Hanford Dixon and Frank Minifield. So I've always really loved to watch cornerbacks play. And Treydan Stukes, I've said it a number of times, caught my eye on the worst night ever in Arizona football history. 70-7 Territorial Cup game, 2020. Basically no one inside the stadium that night. So did we really lose 70-7 if no one was there to see it?
I think that they still keep the score, so I imagine that's still a thing.
But, yeah, number 39. He wore number 39 his freshman year. Number 39 was one of the people that stood out. I kept looking down, and I'm looking at my video, and I'm like, who's this number 39? I don't know if he'd even really played much prior to that game that night. And I went back, and I was breaking down the tape after the game, and afterwards, then, of course, there was a lot going on because that was the end of the Kevin Sumlin era, and so we were immediately into a coaching search at that point. But I just remember this kid. I'm thinking, man, he's making tackles out there. He's aggressive to the ball. I mean, I like this kid. Treydan Stukes, walk on. And it's so funny when you think about it. I don't even know. I couldn't even really find how many stars, what star recruit that he was coming out of high school, coming out of Gilbert Millennium, playing for Lamar Early's team up there in the Valley. But he was not listed. I went back and looked at that class. He was not listed, at least on Three Keeps the History of it. He was not listed as one of the recruits in that 2020 class. So he may have signed after the fact or late, or I don't even remember the whole story of that. I just know that he immediately, I think that first week coming out of 21, they gave him a scholarship, and the rest was history. And he had a play. I'll remember in that BYU game early on. Literally, he was in man-to-man coverage with a much taller tight end by himself. I mean, literally, the other 10 guys were below the hash. And up there at the top of the screen was Treydan Stukes, and this tight end ran like a 7-yard cross, and Treydan went over the top and deflected the pass with no help, no protection over the top, just him and this guy. And that was when I was like, man, this kid's going to be something to watch. And to be able to really see the development, I'll never forget when the Wildcats ended the losing streak to ASU. I think that was Territorial Cup 2022, I believe it was that year. and him just being on the field and hugging his sister down there on the field after the game, and of course the Zona Zoo and stormed the field after that particular ball game, just seeing how happy he was to have come from that worst night ever just 2 years prior to being able to claim victory in that same game just 2 years later. It was absolutely something fun to watch the progression of that young man here at this university. Absolutely deserving of the call he got from the Raiders early on Friday night.
Hey, Treydan Stukes with the Raiders. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. You're about to be a Las Vegas Raider.
Thank you.
We are thrilled to get you, man. We've been a big fan of yours for a long time. Your leadership, your play style, your intelligence. You're the exact kind of guy we need right now. So I don't have to tell you that you got to bring your best, because I know you're going to get it. So just come up here and be you, and be a great teammate. We're looking for great teammates. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to pass you to Coach Kubiak, but congrats on becoming a Las Vegas Raider. And Mr. Davis would like me always to say, welcome to the dark side.
Thank you.
Hey, Trey, Clint Kubiak, congratulations.
Thanks, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, I'm great, man. Welcome, man. You can be a captain here, too. I know you've been a captain 3 different times. We need another captain here. What do you think?
Whatever you need, Coach. I got you.
All right, man. We believe in you. All right, congratulations. Hey,
thanks, Coach.
Hey, here's our defensive coordinator. All right, Coach Robbie.
How you doing?
Treydan, what's up, man? This is Robbie Leonard.
What's up? What's up?
You fired up, man?
I'm fired up, man.
Fired up, man. Your tape's fun to watch, man. We got a good vision for you. You know, won't be asking you to just play with that same nasty style of play you already do.
Yes, sir.
I mean, enjoy this moment with your family. I'm excited to see you in person, brother. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Can't wait to get out there. Yep.
Thank you.
With the 38th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Treydan Stukes, defensive back, Arizona.
The first of a whole lot of DBs to get selected. Of the 7 Wildcats selected this past weekend, about five defensive backs in that mix there. You had Treydan Stukes, who played mostly corner. And here's the other thing that's so great about this Treydan Stukes story was that he was an outside corner, and then they moved him to the inside. I remember I talked to him in Vegas at the final Pac-12 media days, and he was one of the representatives there. And a lot of people thought, well, that's they don't believe in him because they moved him from the boundary corner to a slot corner position. And there were a lot of doubters then about Treydan Stukes. And what did he do? He just went into that. He went into that slot corner position, and he showed how good of a tackler that he could be. And that was the thing that stood out, was like, man, I think, and me and Glenn had talked about it, and we said, I think the reason they're doing that is because he can tackle. He's one of those corners that's not afraid to put his nose in there and make plays. A lot of those guys, they want to cover, they want to get interceptions and deflections, but when the run game comes, they don't want no part of that. They don't want no part of that run game. But that wasn't Treydan. Treydan was equally as physical in the run game as he was in the pass game, and he flourished at that slot position when, ironically, the other 2 guys came in, Takario Davis and Ephesians Prysock. Think about that for a second. All 3 of those cornerbacks drafted this past weekend from that 20. You cannot talk about that 2023 defense without talking about those 3 guys and 2 of them who went to Washington.
Man, all I can think of is 5 defensive backs. I know somewhere Dwayne Aquina is just grinning from ear to ear. He's just like, yeah, see, I still got it. I still know how to pick them out. Matter of fact, you talk about the guys that they had to move them out from the boundary corner and things of that. I mean, there was a lot of points where I was able to pick up real quick a small bit of audio of Dwayne Aquina talking about Treydan Stukes, that we needed to be used to that name, and he wasn't wrong. Mm-hmm. He was not wrong.
Not at all. Not at all. So that's our question of the day today. And we'll go back to what we said at the top of the show. How many, in your feeling, how many U of A football players were drafted this past weekend into the NFL? Are you claiming just the 4 that played here last year? Treydan Stukes, Genesis Smith, Dalton Johnson, Michael Dansby? Or are we claiming all 7? Jonah Coleman, Ephesians Prysock, Takario Davis. Head on over right now to our Twitter page at Wildcats1290. You can vote in that poll. How many U of A football players were drafted this past weekend into the NFL? Was it 4 or was it 7? I say 7. Dragon Ball, what did you say? Did you say 7?
I say about 4.
You're only claiming 4.
I claim 4.
We're already split on this show.
I mean, hey, let me say, does Ohio State get to claim Joe Burrow as a number 1 overall draft pick in Buckeye history?
But again, he didn't play. So no, the answer to that would be no.
Exactly.
Joe Burrow did not play for them.
And he didn't go into that draft wearing that Buckeye scarlet and gray or whatever it is they call it.
He did not play. But again, that makes it easy. See, there we go. So we're split on how to answer this question. How do you feel? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the name to get in on the program. All right. Confirmed, we do have a guest coming up in the 4 o'clock hour for you. Clancy Shields is going to join us, the head men's tennis coach at the University of Arizona. We'll dive in coming up about what's going on with your dynamic men's tennis program. DK on the sports tip, cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s. She's got your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. With collisions reported, Golf Links and Pantano, and Golf Links. And we've got road work. It's actually bridge maintenance work on Golf Links at the Pantano Wash near Camino Seco. Some eastbound slowing. Also crash at Country Club in 5th Street and Country Club. Also road work. And backups northbound Country Club at 5th Street. 53 the overnight low, sunny, 85 tomorrow and 81 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Discover. When you hear a good deal, it's natural to do a double take. That's what you might do when you hear Discover will automatically double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
We bring you all the news and stories of your Arizona Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Wildcats Radio 1290 for the latest highlights and commentary. Your home for U of A athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Pat Boyle here to help you get closer to Western One Sports. Nuggets down to their final breath against the T-Wolves, but I think Denver can force a Game 7. They're down 3-1, but now Anthony Edwards is out for multiple weeks and DiVincenzo tore his Achilles. At BetMGM, Denver to force a Game 7 is minus 125 odds. And I'll play it. Hopefully the Nuggets take care of business tonight at home. Then you need a Game 6 win on the road where Denver will be favored again. So it gives you the chance to hedge on the T-Wolves if you desire to minimize your risk. I'm Pat Boyle. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
Why? Because I have a job to do.
With rapid fire takes.
So I don't want to hear from you lava pigs on this notion today. No idea what you're talking about. You're complaining more than you like to breathe air. It's like you get up in the morning only to complain and cry and moan on social media about things that you don't even understand.
He's the Spitfire of sports smack.
Take advantage of it. Get up in here.
The Jim Rome Show podcast.
What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
You've been warned.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000. Use code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000.
Do you need your home repiped? Having trouble with your water heater? Leaking toilet? Have you ever thought about an instant recorded seweroscopy? Then call Economy Plumbing Service at 885-3510. Because if water goes through it or to it, we do it. Economy Plumbing, 885-3510. DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on our program today. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. You can partake in our poll over at Wildcats 1290 Twitter. How many Wildcats were drafted into the NFL this past weekend? Was it 4? Was it 7? I say 7. Dragon Ball says it was just 4. What do you think about that? All right. NCAA selections handed out today. Congratulations going out to both the Arizona men's and women's tennis teams, both making the NCAA tournament. The men, of course, winning the Big 12 championship this year, the regular season championship, getting to the finals of the Big 12 conference tournament championship as well before losing to TCU. But great to see both of those teams back in the postseason. Once again, we need all, I've said before, we need all the Directors' Cup points that we can get. You really need to have, the Wildcats have 16 programs. I'm sorry, they have 21 programs which compete for Directors' Cup points. You really need to get 16 of those 21 teams into the postseason in order to solidify a spot in the top 25, really, depending on where you fall. But if you get 16, you're likely going to be a top 25 program. The Wildcats in recent years have fallen down to around the 40s, and so you'd like to see the Wildcats get back up in that respect. The more teams you can get in there, the better.
Athletics as both the men's and women's.
It's something that we are trying to hopefully work towards with this athletic program. So now the men, just to kind of give you an indication, they're going to host the first 3 rounds of the NCAA tournament on the men's side. So there will be tennis this weekend here in Tucson at the Robson Tennis Center. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. I was out there last year during the first round. I think the football team was out there at one point. It was quite a raucous event, to say the least. And so good to have that event back here again. Ole Miss is one of the teams that will be here this weekend. I believe Clemson is also going to be here this weekend. And the Wildcats will take on Northern Arizona in the first round, which will be Friday. So Ole Miss and Clemson will play at 10 a.m. Arizona and Northern Arizona will play at 1 p.m. And then the championship on Saturday will be at 1 p.m., the winner of those 2 matches. And then if the Wildcats win, I do believe they only host the third round if they advance. So they would need to advance, and then they would host a 1 tournament or 1 match third round the following weekend on a day to be determined. But we're going to be talking with Clancy Shields coming up. He'll join us in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll get the thoughts of the head coach. Right now, though, let's hear from Mackenzie Hamilton. She caught up with a couple of Arizona Wildcats after the announcements today. She caught up with Jay Friend from the men's team and Tanvi Narendran from the women's team. Here is Mackenzie talking to the 2 tennis players who are going to be headed to the NCAA tournament.
It's an exciting afternoon here for Arizona Athletics as both the men's and women's tennis programs have earned their spot in the NCAA tournament. I have 2 of the seniors here with me now. Tanvi, I want to start with you. Your team goes on a 9-match win streak to close out Big 12 play. What really shifted into place for your team to produce such strong and consistent play there?
Well, we definitely struggled a bit at the beginning of the season with injuries. We just didn't really find our groove. But then once we got 6 healthy players, we just kind of ran with it. We had a lot of really close matches. We lost a bunch of really close ones at the beginning. So we were able to just kind of flip that switch and convert it into a good stretch of the season, and we're really happy to be in the tournament.
And Jay, kind of similar story for your team too. You guys go undefeated in Big 12 play, also win the Big 12 regular season. I was talking with Coach Shields earlier, and he said your team really had to find its competitive edge, and that's what allowed you guys to shift into gear. What did those combos, what did that work look like to find your competitive edge?
Yes, pretty much the same as Tanvi and the women's team. We struggled at the start of the year, not due to injuries, just due to, we had to find our competitive edge, and we ended up finding it, and I think we won 16 matches in a row, 15 doubles points in a row, which is something unheard of, especially for our program. And it's just the hard work. After the January where we lost 3 matches in 1 month, which is ridiculous, we just went to work all day on the court, off the court in the gym, just working all day, and now we deserve what we've got right now.
2 of the hottest teams in the country right now. It's really exciting. The men will be hosting the first and second round here in Tucson this weekend. The women headed to Ohio State. Best of luck to you both and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that was Mackenzie Hamilton with Tanvi Narendran and Jay Friend. Jay, we've had him on the show. As you heard there, the ladies are going to be headed to Ohio State University in Columbus, where they will play 3rd straight year that they have been in the NCAA tournament. They will be the number 2 seed at that regional. They will face the 3rd seed, Notre Dame, in the first round. The winners will advance to take on Ohio State and the winner of the Ohio State-Youngstown State first round matchup. So there you go. Looking forward to the ladies. We heard they won 9 in a row at one point this year. 20-9 overall. They were 10-3 this year in the Big 12. 10 victories in conference play. That's the most ever for the women's tennis team in conference play in history. Arizona also winning 10 consecutive matches, defeated Kansas in the first round of the Big 12 tournament before they fell to UCF in the second round, the quarterfinal round of the Big 12 tournament. So looking forward to seeing the Wildcats and the Fighting Irish coming up this weekend in Columbus. Congratulations again to both of those teams for making the NCAA tournament. I've said Dragon Ball for a number of years now. The men's tennis team, one of the more exciting programs on campus. The women are starting to fall in that same line. They still need to break through and maybe get to a Sweet 16, get a couple of wins on the opening weekend. But this men's team is again, they've kind of played their way. I kind of put them, I have my levels of expectations for all the programs at the U of A. I've put them into that Sweet 16 category, and they've been in that for a number of years now, probably going back 3 or 4 years. But so that's my expectation, is they get by this opening weekend and should at home. But they are good enough now that they can maybe start to flirt with getting to the national championships as a team at some point under the direction of Clancy Shields.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for them to go ahead and go deep into the NCAA tournament. They've seemingly had control in every aspect, whether it be the singles or the doubles campaigns and things like that. They have a solid squad, and they have built this up from their one of the first classes with Clancy Shields, and they've all just stuck around, and they've been able to build up, and whatever new blood they bring in, they bring them in, and they teach them how to be a part of that mentality and that culture. So it's impressive to see how far they've come along. But just like you said with the women's too, they're starting to do the same thing, and they're starting to follow that a similar blueprint, I should say, for their program as well. So it'll be interesting to see how far each of these sides goes in the NCAAs. I'm certainly thinking that they should have a good shot of hosting in the third round, like you said, but at least one round of tennis in Arizona. I'm sure no one's going to be complaining about that, considering it's not going to be hitting the 90s for a little while at least. So it'll be decent enough weather for tennis.
Well, we hope it's hot. We hope it's hot this weekend, because I think that gives Arizona advantage against teams like Ole Miss and Clemson, who will come in here and they'll be baking. I forget who I think we beat. I think it was an Ivy League school that they knocked off last year in the second round to get to the third of what is now 3 Sweet 16. So they're kind of, I don't want to put them in that conversation that, they're getting to the Sweet 16 and they can't get past that, because again, this was a program for years that they couldn't even make the NCAA tournament. So the fact that they've been able to go to 3 Sweet 16s in a row has been very rewarding, and is one of the reasons why I say that they are one of the top, to me, emerging programs in the athletics department. But eventually, you want to see them take that next step into the Elite Eight, and hopefully this is the year they do that with players like Jay Friend, who you heard from there. We had on the show last week Sasha Rosen from Toronto. Again, a lot of quality international athletes that they've got on this team. Jay out of Tokyo, Japan. A couple of Canadians with Sasha, and Motiejus Kask, also out of Canada. A couple of players from Sweden, and Philip Gustafsson and Oscar Jansen. So they've got some really, really, really good talent that Clancy continues to put into this program on the men's side. And then for Ryan Stotland, who is now solidified. He had those recruiting classes like 4 years ago. They brought in the best recruiting class in school history, and now that is starting to pay off with the third NCAA tournament berth for them. And like I said earlier, you want to see them win one. You want to see them get past and be able to get into that second round, maybe get into a Sweet 16. Some great young talent like Zoya Chulik, who's been a young star on this team, came in at the mid-semester last year. Tanvi out of Rencon University High School here in Tucson, who's been able to be a local product, who's done very well. And Josie Yusuru, who's a junior out of Canada as well, who transferred here, also has really been able to solidify that lineup on that side for Ryan Stotland. So great to see the tennis programs doing well. The women's golf team did not maybe play as well as they would have liked at the Big 12 championships down in Dallas. This past weekend, they finished 11th overall out of 14 teams. They finished 7 spots and 30 shots behind Arizona State. So the Sun Devils win the Territorial Cup Series point in women's golf, but the women's golf team is expected to still make it NCAA regional. So still some work to be done potentially for that team And again, you just got to get there. You got to get to the NCAA tournament. That's the biggest part. Stockpile those Directors Cup points. And we'll get into that a little bit, maybe more as we go on into the week, where we stand, where we stood coming out of the fall, where we stand now. I think we've had maybe an update with some of the spring sports as well. We'll kind of give you an idea where the Wildcats are standing as we get into the final phases of the spring part of the schedule. DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number. Don't forget, vote in our poll right now over Wildcats 1290. Are you claiming all 7 of the draftees for the NFL draft out of Arizona, including the 3 guys who went to Washington, or are you just claiming the 4 that were drafted out of last year's class that played here at the University of Arizona? We'll talk some more tennis coming up in the next hour. We'll talk softball and baseball as well. We'll get into what the Cardinals did, the Diamondbacks going down to Mexico and playing a couple of games against the Padres, and, of course, plenty of NBA and hockey to chime in as the postseasons are underway. Dragon Ball is here. He's got everything happening in sports in Southern Arizona as well as sports around the world.
And looking at everything, some spots for next year's Arizona men's basketball team's roster seem to be set. Reports are Motiejus Krivas will be returning for one more season as a member of the Wildcats after foregoing the early entry into the NBA draft. While Krivas has announced that he will be staying, there's still no official word on Ivan Karchenkov, though his name has not appeared in any early draft declarations thus far. And the Cats will need to reload, however, with both Braden Burries and Koa Pete announcing they will be setting their sights on the NBA draft. And the Cardinals finished up their NFL draft this past weekend, and the biggest move that has a lot of fans talking about, besides taking Jeremiah Love with their top 3 overall selection, is the decision to take former Miami quarterback Carson Beck on day 2. Beck was a topic of many questions that hit GM Motiejus, including what the chances are that there will be an open quarterback battle for the former Hurricane to have a chance to start over Jacoby Brissett.
We spent a lot of time with Carson. We met with him at the Combine, brought him in on a 30 visit. There was no shortage of tape to evaluate on Carson. Carson's played a lot of ball, and so, banked a lot of reps. I think really Carson played in a lot of big game environments, played in a lot of intense environments in the SEC, those stadiums, those loud screaming, wild, rabid fans of the SEC. And then, the highest stage that he could play on in the national championship this year, all those playoff games. I think a lot of things sold us on Carson, and we were excited to add him to our room.
Do you see a scenario where Carson could compete for a starting position, or is he?
Yeah, I think we just announced his name about a half hour ago. So, we just want to get him in the building here and show him where the cafeteria is and the locker room is, and get him fitted for his gear, and then we'll go from there. We're excited to add, be great competition in that room, and we'll see how it shakes out.
Again, the Cardinals rookie mini camp is already slated to start up on May the 8th. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby will be taking an indefinite leave of absence from his team as he is being checked into a treatment program for gambling addiction.
Brutal.
Yeah, Sorsby was one of the biggest names in this year's transfer portal, but Sorsby's decision to seek treatment, according to sources, came in the wake of the discovery of Sorsby making thousands of online bets on a variety of sports via a gambling app, which jeopardizes his eligibility with Texas Tech. Now, according to sources, Sorsby bet on Indiana football while redshirting for the Hoosiers as a true freshman back in 2022, a season in which he played a single game as a reserve. The bets in 2022, according to sources, were on Indiana to win, and none came in a game in which Sorsby appeared. And I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Around Tucson, you've probably seen Cruz on the road across our community. Because Cruz isn't just another law firm, we care about this community. And when one of our own is injured in an accident, we can help. Call 520-567-8000. Cruz & Associates, a firm you know, help you can trust.
From the Cruz & Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions reported Country Club in 5th, the 5th Street and Country Club. Also roadwork at the intersection and backups northbound on Country Club at 5th Street. Collision Golf Links and Pantano and Golf Links. Roadwork, it's bridge maintenance work on Golf Links at Camino Seco. Eastbound slowing on Golf Links approaching Camino Seco. 53 the overnight low, 85 sunny tomorrow, 81 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then you find a deal that actually feels like a win. With Straight Talk Wireless, you get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises, all on Verizon's 5G network. Find it in the same place you've always found straightforward prices, exclusively at Walmart and StraightTalk.com.
If your yard is the talk of the neighborhood, make sure it's for all the right reasons. Call Dorado Rock and Materials. For landscape gravel to boulders and everything in between, Dorado Rock and Materials will make sure you and your yard are covered.
Tobacco Barn presents the continuing saga of Captain Tobacco.
We now join our damsel in distress tied to the railroad tracks, a victim of high tobacco prices.
Help! Somebody save me!
Never fear, my dear. Captain Tobacco is here.
Captain, high prices are coming down the track.
You'll never stop my high prices. Pardon me while I untie this fair lady.
It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
There, you're free.
My hero.
Rats.
You'll pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation, and save up to another $3 off with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Now for you, high prices, I dare ya. That's why I'm Captain Tobacco, fighting high tobacco prices everywhere.
Captain, I could just kiss you.
Oh, no.
Oh, brother. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Shh, here she comes.
Surprise! They sent a duplicate shipment to your flower shop! Now you have to pay for 1,000 extra carnations! Also, there's a beehive outside your store! And they're super aggressive! There's thousands of them!
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise? Saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, the egg salad you just ate was expired! Gross!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
A family office is a team built to handle the three biggest financial responsibilities a family faces: wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning. Most firms only manage your investments and refer the rest out, hoping everyone stays aligned. At Treydan, we built something different. Your wealth, tax planning, and estate planning are handled together inside one firm under one roof. There's no guessing whether your CPA, advisor, and estate attorney are truly in sync, because our team works together every day on your behalf. When your financial life becomes more complex, your advice should become more coordinated, not more fragmented. One plan, one trusted team. Call Treydan today.
520-200-1600. That's 520-200-1600.
Treydan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Additional services through Treydan Estate and Treydan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TreydanWealth.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media Station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. We are your home for Arizona athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Cats the other way with the ball. Pete goes inside. Krivas posted up on Club, backing him down. There's that jump hook. It's up and good.
Patience for Mo Krivas. I love the high-low look. Koa Pete wants his postman to get touches early.
Motiejus Krivas, as expected, back in the fold for your Arizona Wildcats for the 26-27 season. One of the top players in the country. last year. First team all Big 12 selection. Had missed most of the season before in 26-25, but played in all 39 games for your Arizona Wildcats this past season. Averaged 10 points, 8 rebounds, a couple of blocks. I think he had one game where he had 6 blocks. Shot 57% from the floor, 78% from the line. Actually made a couple threes, I think, also this season. Motiejus was an all Big 12 defensive selection, 73 blocked shots this past season. That ranks 7th all-time in Arizona history. In the 44 games prior to this past season, he had only blocked 25 shots. Motiejus Krivas out of Lithuania had 9 double-doubles this year. That was a team high, including a 14-point, 14-rebound performance against Alabama and 14-point, 15-rebound performance against Kansas. He was named to the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Center of the Year watch list and is expected to be on a whole bunch of watch lists coming up this season. Motiejus Krivas back in the fold with Tommy Lloyd and your Arizona Wildcats. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. I loved what Mo did this past year in terms of the progression that he made and his ability to both play at the defensive end and not just block shots, but his ability to play kind of that style of being out on the top, off cuts and off picks, and being able to guard guys on the perimeter, being able to drop down and drop coverage as well, and guard the rim and the perimeter at times when needed. I thought he showed a nice ability to do that. You know, he's not as swift a foot as what we saw with Henry Vasar the year before, but definitely capable, and one of the better free throw shooters on the team. You would not expect maybe Motiejus Krivas to be as skilled a free throw shooter as he is, but he is one of the better free throw shooters on this team. Not a guy you really wanted to foul in those situations and put on the line because he can knock them down. So good to see him that Motiejus Krivas is going to be back there anchoring the middle of this lineup for the Arizona Wildcats. And you kind of wonder with him coming back, maybe that might have been one of the reasons why City Guy decided to transfer out to Santa Clara, not seeing maybe an opportunity to get big minutes. I do think City would have been a guy who, no pun intended, City would have been a guy who played considerably more in year 2 than he did in year 1, but maybe now he has an opportunity to go and play significant minutes in Santa Clara than the minutes that he had a chance to play here in Tucson. 520-848-1290, your thoughts on Motiejus Krivas returning. Love to hear from you on that. How do you feel on that one, Mr. Dragon Ball?
Well, I mean, recruiting 7-foot size is not necessarily as difficult as it might seem, just because we do see a good amount of 7-footers out there in college basketball. Just they're mostly hogged up by the top programs in the country. But getting a 7-footer with good mobility is probably the hardest thing to go ahead and get in basketball, period, whether you're looking at the professionals in the U.S. or across the country or in the college ranks. So getting that back is going to open up a lot of things. And the one thing a guard loves to play alongside is a 7-footer that is capable of not just slowing the game down in the low post, but being able to go ahead and move with them on pick and rolls. How many times did we hear about high-low passing? A guard attacking on the baseline and knowing that his center is going to move into a spot that they're going to get a pass ready to go. A guard's going to love that. That's an excellent little bit of recruiting that Tommy Lloyd and the rest of that coaching staff can utilize for at least this upcoming season. Again, still a lot of spots left to go ahead and try to fill out, whether it be from the recruiting side or the transfer portal side, I'm sure. But getting Mo back, that just solidifies a position that you don't really need to worry too much about. That being said, you definitely need a little more depth and the bigs, considering all that's leaving, including probably the best bench big in the country in Tobe Awaka.
Yeah, I think that's the one position I think I'm going to be interested to see kind of how they fill that role there and who that goes to. If they feel like maybe they have one of these younger guys on the roster, could that be a Mobile Mawad? Is he ready to be thrusted into that type of situation? Hard to say. But I think that's one of those roles that you really want for a veteran player, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, when you're talking about this past season, getting a guy that had that much history playing and deciding that it was best for the team to come off the bench in Tobe, that was a huge boon, that you have a guy that you can have come in and spell a younger player like Koa Pete and just have that much level of dominance, especially because you typically see a lot of youth on the back end of teams' depth because you have these stars, juniors or sophomores, because let's be honest, star seniors is not really a thing that happens in college basketball anymore. But when you have these premier juniors and sophomores that kind of lead the way on the depth chart, you're usually leaving it to like very unseasoned sophomores or freshmen coming off the bench. And when you get a guy like Tobe Awaka that just has that veteran savvy, it was impossible to really kind of weigh how important that was for Tommy and the coaching staff when it came to building their lineups and things like that. So I'd like to probably see a veteran get into that big rotation. I don't know necessarily if you need to go ahead and have that be the permanent spot for a veteran big. You don't need that permanently, but it definitely helped them this past year get all the way to the Final Four.
520-848-1290 is the number. 520-848-1290, the number to get in on the program. Stay connected while you're on the go with the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. Listen to Arizona Wildcats play-by-play. Brian Jeffries will be back on the radio tomorrow night as baseball goes on the road to Grand Canyon. You can get the latest on your teams and more. It's all in one place. Download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app from the App Store or Google Play today. The Wildcats Radio 1290 app is sponsored by Goodfellas Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Show the Wildcats Radio 1290 crew the 1290 app on your phone, and they will tell you how you can enter to win $100. I mean, we were on the road so much last week that everybody should have been asking about that $100 last week. We had 4 straight days on the road. Last week, we were at Showtime Cards on Wednesday. We were at beach volleyball on Thursday. We were at baseball on Friday. And then we were at the scrimmage, the spring showcase on Saturday. They actually did go out at the spring showcase in full pads on Saturday. First time that they'd done that. We were obviously doing the show up there, so I didn't get a chance to watch it closely, but I did watch a little bit of the final series of 11 on 11 that they did, and I thought that the defense was back to acting up again against this offense. This defense was back to dominating, much like we saw them do in the fall. Last year, I saw very few open windows for Noah Fafita to throw the ball. He did hit one down the middle, but he tried to get the ball into the end zone a couple times deep to some of his guys, and there was not much success in doing that in the open scrimmage the other day. And then again, it was a showcase, much more for the fans, but again, it was full uniforms. And don't tell the defensive guys that didn't mean anything, because they were out there competing. And any guy that goes out there for Danny Gonzalez is going to be out there competing. They didn't want Noah Fafita dropping bombs on them from 40 yards out. So those guys were out there. We're going to see a lot of new faces in that defensive backfield. There's still going to be a ton of questions about that group going into fall camp and what they can do, but there's some dudes. They've got some dudes. They've got some guys they believe in on the defensive side of that ball to fill in from some of these cornerback losses. Javion Cole wasn't even out there. He's going to be out there, obviously. Danny Gonzalez said last week he believes Javion Cole is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. We're going to find out for sure. Michael Dansby, we saw him come on as the season went on, and look what happened to him. He found himself drafted in the 7th round by the Seattle Seahawks this past weekend. So the safety position is the one you got to worry about. They've got some guys to replace there. In fact, 3 that went into the league this past weekend. But based on some of what we saw on Saturday, those positions might be in good hands because I thought the defense played extremely well in the limited amount of play that we saw at the showcase on Saturday. If you were there, want to hear from you. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. What stood out to you in the team segments at the spring showcase on Saturday? We welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Cricket is back in the house. Let me make sure I got the right.
And the camera is naturally where it always is.
See, everybody goes away, and I forget exactly which one it is.
Oh, boy.
That one? No, that's
that doesn't look right.
That's not it either. We'll find. Hey,
I was going to say, I forget how to do this.
That's the one.
But you really forget how to do this.
Yeah, I mean, you go away, and everything falls apart, Cricket.
Yeah.
Thanks. So
I wouldn't say that.
How was your time away?
Too short.
Too short?
It always is, yeah.
Okay.
You mean the rapper or?
Yeah, too short. You know what's up.
Where was I? I remember where I was, where they were just like, they were blasting Too Short. And I'm thinking it might have been at football practice that they were blasting Too Short. And I'm thinking, man, these young folks don't know nothing about Too Short. And we out here playing it.
You can tell that's the coaches that control the audio for practice that day. Coaches had the aux cable that day.
All right. So what's the most exciting thing that happened on vacation, Cricket?
Probably going to the fair with the girls.
Ooh, you went to the fair.
Yeah.
Okay, did you go to see an act or just did one of the concerts, or did you just go to ride the rides?
Yes.
Both.
All things. All things done.
Rides,
what
food,
group did you go see?
We saw a little bit of Yachtly Crew on Tuesday
you did?
night. Yeah.
Okay, so.
Did you go?
I did not. I did not go. We had a lot going on.
You call yourself a fan?
I know. I did not get a chance to see it. They were here for 2 nights in a row. I did not. But I think we're going to go. They're going to be in Flagstaff here. I think it's either next month or early June. So we're looking at maybe going up and seeing them there.
Oh, there you go.
So what'd you think? I mean, is that the first time you'd seen Yachtly Crew?
I've seen them before.
Oh, you'd seen them before. Okay.
Over the years and I couldn't tell you where though. But yeah, they sound good. They always do.
Now they got a new lead singer, so that's a little bit different than before. Because again, Philly Ocean, and I mentioned this way back when I saw them in Vegas a few years ago. I could tell something was going on with his voice.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
so
right.
he is not with the group right now, as he tends to his health in that respect. So it's one of those things. Like I mean, I'm sure that next time I go, I will enjoy them as I always have. And I've said before, it's different. It's like any group where your lead singer's not there, it changes over. Whether that was who was the
Journey
when Sammy Hagar, which group was that?
Van Halen.
Van Halen came in. Sammy Hagar and replaced David. What was David's name?
David Lee Roth.
David Lee Roth. Yeah.
Man, I'm 32. I know these names.
Guy? Who's that guy? What's that band?
What's David's name again? David Lee Roth. Yeah, I mean, it's just not the same. It's different, and you may grow to and still enjoy it. But if you fell in love with David Lee Roth as the lead singer, then you probably didn't like it as much when Sammy Hagar came on. Was that your perspective back in the day? Did you like Van Halen?
I preferred the original.
The original.
I mean, I don't dislike Sammy Hagar.
What are you doing with the hockey stick over there?
I thought it was a crutch. I thought you were on crutches.
Sorry, the Penguins and the Flyers game is going on. The Pens just scored.
What are you trying to play?
I thought that was a crutch.
Are you trying to help the Penguins get some goals?
Hey, whatever mojo I need, man. Whatever mojo
Anything
I need.
that'll help.
Anything that can help.
Whatever
it takes. All right, we're going to talk to Clancy Shields coming up. Cricket is back with everything happening in traffic every 20 minutes on the 5.
And from the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported first in Fort Lowell, 1st Avenue south of Fort Lowell, 22nd Street near Swan, east of Swan on 22nd Street, some eastbound slowing. Wreck reported in Oro Valley, La Cañada, and Lambert Lane. 53 the overnight low, 85 sunny skies tomorrow, and 81 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Burger King. Burger King has been working on the Whopper, and thanks to you, it's never tasted better. Flame grilled beef, crisp produce, and a perfectly toasted bun. Whether it's been weeks or years, come try the Whopper again for only $3.99 on Whopper Wednesday. Terms apply. Visit bk.com/terms.
The jungle has moved to afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for. Open 7 days a week.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure, take it for a spin.
There's no fees and minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bankguide for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Oh my gosh, Ted, why are you digging up the yard?
I'm looking for that stupid pipe. The bathroom drain is still clogged.
Shouldn't we call Goodfellas AC and Plumbing? You know, the professionals?
I found the pipe.
Whatever clogs your drains, leave it to the professionals at Goodfellas AC and Plumbing. The choice your family can count on for quick, reliable plumbing service using Permaliner to fix pipes and drains without digging up the yard. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000. Use code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000.
Hey, it's DK on the Sports Tip. Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell your Alexa device to play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Are your investments in the right accounts? What's best, traditional or Roth? Are you receiving all available tax deductions? Are you paying as little in tax as you can? These are all questions you can't afford to get wrong. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Treydan Wealth, and in many cases, it's not what you make, but it's what you keep that makes the real difference. Treydan Wealth and Treydan Tax work closely together exclusively. No more guessing about whether you should do a Roth conversion, or if maxing out your 401k is really the best option. Our nationally recognized fiduciary advisors and CPA team work in tandem to make sure your tax strategy works with your investment strategy. We'll even do your tax preparation. One team, one strategy. Isn't it time for a second opinion? Call Treydan today.
520-200-1600. That's 520-200-1600. Treydan Wealth, an SEC registered investment advisor. Additional services through Treydan Estate and Treydan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TreydanWealth.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Arizona men's and women's tennis headed to the NCAA tournament this weekend. Men are going to host for a second consecutive year. Ladies will be on the road to Ohio State University, and we are joined by the head coach of the Arizona men's tennis team, Clancy Shields, joins us. Clancy, congratulations once again on another fabulous season for your crew and getting an opportunity to host the NCAAs for another year here at the Robson Tennis Center. We're now becoming entrenched here. We like this. We're becoming entrenched as one of the best programs in the country, and I know that you're really happy with the way that this whole thing has transpired and been built by you and your crew over the course of the last 6-7 years.
Well, appreciate you having me on, and I was at a dinner, donor dinner this week, and I was listening to Coach Brennan talk about sustaining success. And I was a little tickled by it because I'm really proud of that in our program here. We have sustained success, and in a year where people thought we would be dropping off, losing two of our better players. Well, we've gotten better, and we've achieved the highest seeding we've ever had in our program's history of number 8, which means we will host the first 2 rounds, the regional, and if we are fortunate to get through those for the first time in program history, we would be hosting the super regional to punch our ticket to the Omaha or the Oklahoma City for baseball and softball fans. But we are excited about this group. I'm super grateful for the players and the team. I mean, we won 16 in a row leading up into the finals of the Big 12 championship, and I'm a little bit happy that we took a loss, and I think the team is really ready to make a deep run here in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned winning the Big 12 Conference Championship and going through that gauntlet there and becoming really the premier team. Because, again, TCU just a couple years ago won the national championship, so there are some really fine programs. But what did it mean for this team? Because things did not – I mean, you got off to a little bit of a slow start, hit a road bump there. Jay Friend talked about that today, how, we had to kind of find out who we were, and there are a lot of expectations now. But how did you just like the way that the team kind of figured that out quickly as they got into conference play to be able to go on that run?
Yeah, well, I had to become a better coach early in the year because the message I was giving the team was the message of the old teams. And then I got to give a lot of credit to my staff, Alex Free and Jordan Gobati. They basically pulled me aside and said, you got to bring a different message to the team because these are young guys and we need to focus on allowing them to play their very best without bringing in added, motivation or expectation and those things. And those messages helped our team in the past years. The guys love the rah-rah speech and getting hyped up for the match. And, this team needed to just hear, hey, just play the ball in front of you and take it one step at a time. And really all the boring things that we don't like to talk about, we just focused on that. And then from a team perspective, we found our competitive edge of what it really means to be an Arizona Wildcat. And, this is my 10th season here at Arizona, the first couple of years, I couldn't lean on that of what it means to be an Arizona Wildcat and what it means to be gritty and tough and all those things. And now for me, it's so easy just to draw on what we've been able to accomplish in these, past couple seasons with guys who are so tough and so many examples of grit and heart. And so I think that really helps finding our competitive advantage. But certainly for me, I feel like I had to change as a coach, and I'm really proud to have the staff and the leadership in our locker room to, hey, you need to change course here.
Clancy Shields is our guest, head coach of your Arizona men's tennis team. I want to ask you, when your staff kind of pulled you aside and said, look, we got to maybe send that different message, how long does it take for that to resonate? Is that something that resonated like the next match, or was it something that took a few weeks for the guys to kind of figure out?
Well, we end up losing to LSU to qualify for National Indoors, the final site, and they end up being, they're the number 6 seed in the NCAA tournament. So it was a tough, 4-3 match. And so we didn't play any matches for 2.5 weeks. And so it really allowed us to just get back. And, one of the things I think we all have blind spots and we all can't see them, and having great people around you who can help point out those blind spots is important. But also just, hey, apologizing. Hey, guys, I got this wrong, and I'm sorry. Like, I was seeing it a certain way, and it needs to be this way. And forgive me, and let's move forward, and let's commit to this process. And really what changed it for us, we went to the Diablo tournament, which we've won 3 years in a row, and we played Michigan State, who's 16 in the country, played Santa Barbara, 30 in the country, and then at the time we played, the Sun Devils up there, and they were 11 in the country, and we just found it. We found our soul. We found our team's heart. And from then, I think the guys really believed in what we were talking about and what we were preaching. And you got to have a team that believes in the coaches and the staff and the mission of what we're doing. And you have to have some results in order for them to do that. And so that was a really nice moment. But then again, I also say great teams lead from the middle. And we have got the greatest captain, senior, human being. Jay Friend is the epitome of everything that's right in college tennis. I love that kid to death. The guys love him. They will do anything for him, and he's been the most incredible leader we've ever had for this season.
Well, you led me right to my next question about Jay. What makes him that guy that players gravitate to?
Well, when he showed up here as a freshman, I've never had a player just give themselves 100% to the coach and say, whatever you want me to do in my game, I will do exactly what you tell me to do. And it was that first day he stepped on campus, his coachability, and I will do anything you want me to do, coach, to become a better player. And then I think he started realizing over the course of his career, man, if I listen to these guys, I'm going to get better. And so then he starts telling the other guys on the team, guys, trust in the coaches, trust in what they're telling you. I promise you're going to get better if you do that, because tennis is such an individual sport. You have to be out there by yourself. You have to figure it out. So it's hard to give up a little bit of control and to give up some of that trust. And so to have your best player, the kid that was number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, who won one of the fall national championships, when he has got your back and he's helping the guys, and when you're not around in the locker room to say, hey, believe in this guy, I promise you he's going to help you and he's going to get you better, then it just makes everything a lot easier. And he's been so good with the guys. I've never had such a good player be so unselfish and to check their ego at the door every single day and to want to help others. I mean, you have to put this in, basketball and football terms. I mean, you basically have a Heisman Trophy guy here, and he is the most unselfish guy on the team, and that is where the success is happening for us.
We're chatting with Clancy Shields, the head coach of your Arizona men's tennis team. They'll be hosting the NCAA tournament this weekend at the Robson Tennis Center, Northern Arizona, on Friday. Clemson and Ole Miss will also be here. Championship will be on Saturday at 1 p.m. Wildcats win, and they'll host the next weekend as well in the Super Regionals. We had Sasha on the show last week. He's a junior out of Canada. I said, how did you start playing tennis and not hockey and when he was growing up? But what is Sasha kind of added to this program?
Well, he's one of our captains, voted on unanimously by the team. And what he brings, it's like that fire and ice. Jay is fire. I mean, if you've ever watched the kid, he is fire. And then you got Sasha over there. He needs ice, and he's cool as a cucumber. And I mean, you saw it to punch our ticket into the finals of the Big 12 championship, to beat UCF on their home courts. It's 3-all. It came down to his court. I've never seen a kid so composed and so poised in that moment. And that's what the team has needed. They need the fire from Jay, and they need the ice and the calm and the poise from Sasha. And he's such a gifted player. He's so fun to watch. He's got a one-handed backhand like Roger Federer. It is so beautiful to look. I mean, because nowadays there's not many one-handed backhands left. But when you watch him hit that one-handed backhand, it is one of the most aesthetically pleasing shots you'll ever see. He's gifted. He hits the ball as big as anybody in college tennis. But it's his poise. When you watch him, you'll be very impressed with that, and you'll see that. And he made the NCAA tournament this year. He's been nationally ranked in the top 60 most of the season, and we got another year with him, so we're very, very lucky.
And who is this young freshman, Alejandro Arcia, who's come over here from Colombia, played I guess if you played at the Rafa Nadal Academy, you better be pretty good.
He's amazing. I mean, on paper, he's the highest-rated recruit we've ever had. He was ranked 17 in the world in the juniors, and he reminds me a lot of all these great players that have come through the program. He's so unselfish as a freshman. I mean, when you're the best recruit to ever come into a program, you might come in with a little attitude. No way. Alejandro is the most unselfish kid. He's carrying the team bag. He's picking up the balls. How can I help guys? He's at practices. He's picking up for the other players. He's a learning machine. He's a sponge. He's going to be one of the next great ones here. But he is one of our kind of locks down low in our lineup. He's so fun to watch. He fights so hard. And the cool thing, he actually went in November, he went down and won a gold medal at the Boulevard Games, which is kind of a qualifier for the Olympics in 2028. So it kind of pushes them to the next round. And so, for all these guys, they have the Olympics coming in a year and a half. And I know a lot of them, their goal is to be in that. And I would love to see Alejandro represent his country if he could in that. But he's someone to watch. And we got him for 3 more years. And so the program here is looking really bright for the future.
Yeah, and you got a young sophomore out of the Ukraine, Gleb Sakachov. Is that how you pronounce that one?
Yes.
Sakachov.
Yes. I mean, everything going on in his home country. He hasn't been home since he's 16 years old.
Wow.
He was living on couches in Europe, and he was trying to do this tennis thing while the turmoil going on in his home country. And I just felt like, and he said he was cheersing. We were at a restaurant. I had him give the toast, and he said this is the first time in 5 years. It was his, Orthodox Easter, and he said this is the first time in 5 years that I felt like I have a home. And I was like, heck yeah, dude. Like, that was, this is why we do this as coaches. Like, just to make it feel like, hey, Arizona is this kid's home. And he's come in here and maybe has one of the best records on the team. Him and his partner, Philip Gustafson, they just beat the number one team in the country in doubles. They're top 20 in the country. They have I think a 17-3 record at a number one spot. So just watching these guys thriving and having success and knowing that, man, I still get these guys for 2 more years. I'm ecstatic about next season and the seasons after that, because what I started with today, sustaining success. And so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I have everyone back besides Jay, and we've got some guys coming in. We're going to be back here at this time next year having the same conversation and pushing for a national championship.
And this has been you guys have been pretty dominant at the doubles piece this year. Did you think that was going to be the case?
So I tease with my staff and players. In the fall, I don't work on doubles at all. Doubles is worth 1 point, and singles is worth 6. So the guys, doubles is a more fun game, and it's more entertaining, and the guys like doing it. And I would always just say singles is worth 6, doubles is worth 1. But we've got these really great pieces, and I think our record in doubles is like 19-3 on the year. And so for some reason, it just came together. The guys, we found the combinations, they got confident, and we've been really elite in these spots. But I have to say, if you are a casual fan, if you've never been to a match, come watch a college tennis doubles match. It's the first 45 minutes of the match.
Yeah.
The energy, the passion, on and off the court. I don't think there's anything like it. Singles is it's a little bit more strategy and a little bit low key. But doubles, for anybody who has never seen a match, you have got to come watch the doubles of a college tennis match, because I don't think there's a more exciting product.
Wow. There you go. You can come out and do that on Friday. The Arizona Wildcats will be taking on Northern Arizona. What do you know about the Lumberjacks and Clemson and Ole Miss, these teams that are coming in here this weekend? What can you tell us about them?
Well, we're never going to overlook our first round. NAU just won their conference championship. They have a very talented roster. Some of their players in the juniors were ranked just as high as our guys. And so we know that their level is going to be very good. They're well coached. They are obviously playing with nothing to lose, and they're excited to be in the tournament. So we will not overlook them. But I do know I'm so excited to be playing teams from the SEC and the ACC, because all I ever hear is how good the SEC is and the ACC, and it's just the things that you hear in all of college sports, that everything is on the East Coast, and it just means more. And I just get so excited when we host SEC teams here, because I always felt if you build it, they will come. And I just want to make sure that when these teams come out here, that we pack the stands and they get a little taste of what Tucson's like, and what the old Pac-12 and now the Big 12, of what it's like to see this conference that some teams have overlooked, and we'll be ready for that challenge.
Yeah, last year you had to beat an Ivy League school, and this year now you got to beat one of those teams from down south. So letting everybody across even the prep schools know that we're playing some real tennis out here at the University of Arizona. Clancy, congratulations on this continued success of this program. Looking forward to an exciting weekend out there Friday and Saturday, much like we saw here last year. And like you just told the people, get on out there, get there early. 1 o'clock will be the match against Northern Arizona, and check out those doubles, because it really is an exciting part of the match for sure. Looking forward to it, Clancy. We'll see you this weekend.
Thanks for having me on. Bear down.
There you go. Clancy Shields, the head men's tennis coach here at the University of Arizona. NCAA tournament coming up this weekend at the University of Arizona's Robson Tennis Center, the Linnell Robson Tennis Center. 1 o'clock for your Wildcats against Northern Arizona on Friday. Championship, same time, 1 o'clock on Saturday, Friday against Northern Arizona. All right, 520-848-1290. If you've been out and seen this team this year, or the ladies team, want to hear from you. What do you like? Who do you like? Who are some of the players that really excite you when you go out to watch Arizona men's tennis? I've had a whole lot of fun watching Jay play over the course of the last few years, and I'll be out there this weekend, so it's going to be a whole lot of fun to see this team. And again, if they win this year, they'll get to come back and host that super regional round the following weekend, something that the Wildcats have never had the opportunity to do. But that is, again, when you consistently get put these types of programs and these teams out, you start to get that respect that gets you that seeding so that you can host that second weekend in the NCAA tournament as well. DK on the sports tip. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5. She's got your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Stone near Fort Lowell on Stone to the south of Fort Lowell with some southbound slowing. La Cañada and Lambert Lane and La Cañada reported. 53 the overnight low, 85 sunny tomorrow and 82 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples. That was easy.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Clicks don't show the full picture, but Cumulus Digital does. We show you exactly who saw your ad by name and address, and our campaigns beat industry benchmarks by over 25%. Visit cumulusdigital.com today to start outperforming.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000. Use code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000.
Look, I know we live in a swamp, but our appliances don't have to be as disgusting as this. We need to replace them before it's too late.
Trick, you gotta keep Fiona happy, and I know just the place. Tucson Appliance.
Welcome to Tucson Appliance, where we have the best prices on an abundance of appliances.
If we get this one, they can deliver tomorrow. And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
Now we can live happily ever after.
Only at Tucson Appliance,
where you are our priority.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 40 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice. First
Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
The Cup is coming home.
Firing caught. Touchdown, Arizona. Treydan Stukes picks it off, takes it right away.
Congrats to Brett Brennan, Noah Fafita, and your Arizona Wildcats on their 9-win season and dominant victory in Tempe over that school up north.
The Cats win the Cup. They win their 9th game of the season, and they do it emphatically tonight up here in Tempe.
They're down. We are Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Top of the morning to you. You don't need the look of the Irish or a little leprechaun to protect your home from rodents, weeds, pests and termites. Let Weedco protect your home from things that don't belong so you can focus on the ones that do. Call Weedco at 549-1390 or visit weedco.services today.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
The Rockets avoided elimination last night despite Kevin Durant missing his third game of the series, beating the Lakers 115-196. Amen Thompson led the Rockets with 23 points. It was DeAndre Ayton who led the scoring for the Lakers with 19 before he was ejected, while LeBron only had 19 points. The Lakers will look to end the series in Game 5 on Wednesday night in LA. I'm Adam Abdallah.
Furnished by IntelliBrands.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new patented Legsercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural, drug-free way.
Using Legsercise made walking painless again.
Legsercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
I have much less swelling and no more tingling.
Call right now and order your very own Legsercise Pro, the new proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now.
These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Riley Leonard and the Irish from their own two. Jeremiah Love breaks free. Jeremiah Love trying to go 98. Touchdown! Will run in the first touchdown of the 12-team playoff. So much for concerns about Jeremiah Love's knee that ties the longest run in school history. Josh Adams went 98 against Wake Forest here.
Jeremiah Love, the number one pick by your Arizona Cardinals, I should say Wildcats. Arizona Cardinals, who finished out the draft. The only other big name or notable name that the Cardinals selected was Carson Beck, the quarterback out of Miami. Quite interesting. We'll see where that falls. Jacoby Brissett is obviously the wants to be the starter, wants starter money, that's for sure. So he is not apparently participating in OTAs this week, but you'll have Carson Beck handing off to Jeremiah Love coming up when minicamp opens next week for your Arizona Cardinals. A lot of people I don't know that there were a lot of people that liked the pick. There were a lot of people that didn't like this pick for the Birds. There's a lot of people that, I think everybody's in love with Jeremiah Love and thinks he's a great player. I think a lot of people that maybe didn't like this pick don't like the fact that he's gone into this Cardinals situation. And so they don't necessarily they wonder if there's an opportunity for him to flourish here in Arizona playing in this system. So we'll see. We don't see a lot of running backs taking that high. Obviously, we saw it a few years ago with our guy, Bijan Robinson. So we'll see where Jeremiah Love, how things fall for him. Already, though, the people at Westwood One are very high on Jeremiah Love. Let's give you your Westwood One top play for today.
Right, Evans here to help you beat the books with Westwood One Sports.
With the NFL draft in the books, what rookie is bound to win awards? Jeremiah Love surprisingly landed in the Sonoran. Tyler Algier and James Conner will spell him at times, but the three-down sensation is destined for 1,500 combined yards and 10-plus TDs. Give me Love to win Offensive Rookie of the Year at plus 200. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
All right, so Brad Evans is all in on Jeremiah Love winning NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, an award that was won last year by our very own Tetro McMillan from the University of Arizona. Now, you can't actually, I tried to look at the, Brad said it's plus 200. You can't, now you may be able to bet this in Las Vegas, but you can't bet that online right now. It doesn't show up. In terms of the award winners, there's only 4 categories that show up on the online version of BetMGM Network for the awards, and that is not rookie, but Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, and Coach of the Year. So maybe eventually you'll be able to bet that online, but you cannot currently, so you may have to make a trek to Vegas to get those plus 200 odds on Jeremiah Love. Would you take that bet today, Dragon Ball?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Here's the thing, DK. Last season, going into this past NFL year, we were talking about how the Arizona Cardinals offense was going to revolve around the depth they had at running back. You had James Conner, you had all these different pieces in the backfield. They didn't have any of that capability to rely on that running back core because they got hurt. And to me, when I saw them take Jeremiah Love, immediately my thought process was, oh, this is reactionary. This is not a pick based on need or even pick based on best on the board. I think this is a pick based on reactionary to every running back we had was hurt last year. We need to get younger at running back, and we don't want to rely on Algier being our number one back, considering the guy has been a backup for another young and up-and-coming running back, which I'm sure he's thrilled about this situation. He totally was not expecting to have this be what his spot on the roster going to look like. But I just also think that the big thing is that the offensive line for this Cardinals team is going to be bad. It is going to be a really, really rough running offensive line that anyone is going to have difficulty running behind. I mean, I would almost compare this is what Barry Sanders' offensive lines looked like a lot. And if anybody remembers Barry Sanders, he got those yards despite the 5 guys that were lined up in front of him. So I give Jeremiah Love a lot of luck. He's going to need it because this year is going to be, if he breaks about 1,100 yards out of sheer force of will, I'd be surprised.
All right. Well, Dragon Ball is not buying. Are you buying that right now? Jeremiah Love as your NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. Okay, so Friday we went 1-2. We had the Spurs, despite the fact that we Spurs -2, despite the fact that they weren't going to have Victor Wembanyama for that game on Friday night, and so we had the Spurs -2.5. They covered that 120-108 in Game 2. And then against Portland, and then they went out and blew them out yesterday to go up 3-1 in that series. So they won a game without Victor, and one with Victor in Portland. Our baseball bet Friday we did not win on. We had Bobby Witt of the Royals over 1.5 hits plus RBIs. He went 1 for 4 in that game, did not drive in a run, so only 1. We needed 2. We did not get that with Bobby Witt, so we lost on that. And, of course, we had the Celtics, who normally bounce back big in Game 3s, but they didn't, and they won, but they didn't quite bounce back enough. We had the Celtics -8.5, and they won 108-100. So we lost that one by a half point. Tonight, we've got Dragon Ball. We've got Pistons -3.5 over the Magic in a Game 3 in Orlando. You think the Pistons, who are the number 1 seed in the East, are they going to fall down 3-1, or are they going to even this thing up at 2-2 tonight?
Is Jalen Duren going to learn how to play basketball over the course of the last 12 hours? I've never seen a guy just disappear into himself. I mean, it's sad that the first round of the Eastern Conference is going to be compared. For me, it's going to be a discussion of who has looked worse in their first round series, Jalen Duren of the Pistons or James Harden with the Cavs. Because James Harden has not looked great, but Duren has been an absolute, he would have a better plus minus right now if he didn't play. And that's what we're sitting at right now for a guy that was, for all intents and purposes, people were saying was going to be a first-team All-NBA selection at center. If he can go ahead and at least get 15 points and 10 boards, then the Pistons got a shot. But I don't see that happening. He has been absolutely stymied by this Magic defense. I think that this is going to be one where the Magic go up 3-1. I think the Magic go up 3-1 in this one.
All right. We've got that happening tonight. A number of games in the league overall. You've got the Magic and the Pistons tonight. You've also got game 4 of the series. Game 4 of the series here in Phoenix. The Suns are down 3-0. We'll get into that in the next hour as well. But I like to give a DK top play whenever we have a local team playing. So Suns plus 10.5 tonight. Do they have at least that in them this evening? Suns plus 10.5. These games have not been close.
No. They've been close for the first 9 minutes, and then after that, it disappears. If you want my honest answer about that one, DK, my question is, does Lou Dort take somebody else's ankle out? Because if that's the case, then no, it's not going to be 10.5.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm taking the Suns tonight.
No.
Suns, no?
No. I wouldn't take the Suns on 10.5. I wouldn't take the Suns on 16.5. I wouldn't take the Suns right now.
All right. You heard what Dragon Ball is just, he's not agreeing with anything tonight.
This series has made me very jaded when it comes to basketball.
Really?
Game 2 was a mess. And that was a thing.
Because of the officiating?
Well, the officiating didn't make it easier. Again, it's one thing to just lose because a team is better. And there's no doubt about it. The Thunder have better talent. But Game 2 was just a cacophony of failures. It was absolutely just a mess on the officiating side. I still don't understand what certain verbiages that were used. And Game 3, the minute that you see a guy throw his foot up to try and trip somebody and how that's not considered a flagrant, I get it. It's Lou Dort. He's a guy from the school up north. He's going to do that. That's just something in their nature, I guess. But nonetheless, it's got to be a situation where if you see it and it's obvious, we get technical fouls for embellishment. How can we not give out technicals for clear inciting of potential harm to another player where you're throwing your feet up out of desperation? You call that tripping in football. You call it tripping in football. It's a foul there. It should be a foul in the NBA too.
All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I guess we're taking the Thunder.
I would take the Thunder. I would absolutely take the Thunder.
I guess we're taking the Thunder and laying the points on that one. All right, DK on the Sports Tip. Much more coming up for you in the 5 o'clock hour. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. I had promised we'd maybe give you an interview or two from our show Saturday. I might give you one of those because obviously we've gotten into some other things. That's how these shows work. You have a plan, and then that plan goes off the rails.
Most of that is my fault.
Not at all. Not at all. Dragon Ball's got everything happening in sports, not only sports here in Southern Arizona, but sports around the world.
Well, looking else, we had a lot of action on the diamond this past weekend for the Wildcats on both baseball and softball, including a scoring bonanza for the softball team in their finale yesterday against the Houston Cougars.
It swung on and hit high and deep to right field. Mitchell's taking a look as it's gone. Second of the day for Jenkins. The Cats have scored 5 in the first, 5 in the second, 5 in the third. Lead 15-2, still have an out to play with here in the third.
Again, with that big win, the softball Big 12 tournament only going to field 8 teams with the final week of the conference games set to decide many positions, including the Wildcats. They can finish at least with 2 seed after Texas Tech managed to secure the top overall seed this past weekend, sweeping the school up north. And while the Arizona baseball team lost 2 out of 3 against BYU, Luke Flata earned recognition as the Big 12 Co-Pitcher of the Week after his stellar opener against the Cougars, where he threw 6 2/3 shutout innings with a career-high 11 Ks on the day. Congratulations to Flata for that performance again this past Thursday. And the Suns aim to stave off a series sweep tonight as they battle with the reigning NBA champions of the Oklahoma City Thunder. But a lot of eyes will be on Devin Booker after he suffered an ankle injury in Game 3 following his trip over Lou Dort. Booker did come back to finish the game, but afterwards, Booker mentioned this was not the first time Dort had tripped him in a game. This follows after Booker was fined following harsh critiques of the officiating in Game 2 of the series as well. And looking around the NBA and the NHL playoffs, again, the NBA playoffs tip off tonight at 5 p.m. with the Pistons and Magic. Orlando leading that series 2-1. The Thunder again against the Suns, 3-0 in favor of the Thunder. And the Timberwolves and the Nuggets series with Minnesota leading that series 3-1, but they will be without Dante DiVincenzo and Anthony Edwards as both were injured in the last game. So the Nuggets have to stave off elimination at home, with Julius Randle expected to be the biggest scoring points per game remaining in the Timberwolves starting lineup. Then in the NHL, again, the Flyers and Penguins right now. The Flyers can clinch the series in Pittsburgh, but currently down 1 to
Are
none.
Flyers fans getting nervous?
Oh, no. No. We're not going to talk about that, DK. We're not going to give me. I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. You don't talk about the ending of this game until it's over. But one goal up for the Penguins here after 1 period of play. Still 2 left to play in that game. That's why I'm not talking about it. Meanwhile, 6:30, the Mammoth and the Golden Knights will go ahead and have the nightcap in the NHL playoffs. Game 4, Utah leads this series 2-1 after they managed to take the series lead in their first ever playoff game out in Utah. That was a victory over the Golden Knights. And I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
There's only one place to catch Brian Jeffries, the voice of your Arizona Wildcats.
Krivas turnaround jump hook is good. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Oracle and Ina and Oracle, some slowing. Other collisions at Wilmot and Grant Road. Stone Avenue to the south of Fort Lowell, also wreck at La Cañada and Lambert Lane. 53 the overnight low, 85 sunny tomorrow, and 82 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by the Mine Safety and Health Administration.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Take time, save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Softball and baseball season has arrived in Tucson, and tickets are on sale now. From the greatest setting in softball at Hillenbrand Stadium to the dingers into the Tucson sunset at High Corbett, you won't want to miss any of the action this season. Tell a friend, bring the kids, and spend your evenings at the yard, as the Wildcats are sure to put on a show. Get your tickets now by calling 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/tickets. Bear down.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money, so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000. Use code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000.
Most financial advisors only manage your money. They refer you out for taxes. They refer you out for estate planning. They refer you out when things get complicated. Did they really vet that person? Or did they meet once, exchange business cards, and call it a partnership? A referral isn't accountability. It's a handoff. When your investments, taxes, and estate plan are built separately, gaps happen, and those can cost money. At Treydan, we didn't build a referral network. We built a family office for all. Wealth, tax, estate. One team delivering coordinated planning once reserved for the ultra-wealthy. If you want real coordination and not just introductions, call Treydan Wealth today.
Call Treydan today at 520-200-1600. That's 520-200-1600.
Advisory services through Treydan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Other services through Treydan Estate and Treydan Tax. Additional disclosures at TreydanWealth.com.
Wow, this is bad.
Oh no. How bad? When will my AC be fixed?
I don't know. It's your flux capacitor. They don't make them anymore. Special order. Couple grand easy.
Oh my God, what?
Don't get air-conned into paying for shoddy service and stuff you don't need. Put Goodfellas on the job. Goodfellas AC will repair or install your AC the right way the first time. You'll know up front exactly what it'll cost and how long it'll take. No surprises and free second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do.
Headed for the corner, he's in. Touchdown, Arizona. On the break, slam it home. Here comes the throw home. He slides, he's safe. The Cats are champions.
We are Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Top of the morning to you. You don't need the luck of the Irish or a little leprechaun to protect your home from rodents, weeds, pests and termites. Let Weed Co. protect your home from things that don't belong so you can focus on the ones that do. Never worry about those critters again. If they come back, so does Weed Co. We'll keep your home as snug as an Irish pub. Cheers! Call Weed Co. now. 549-1390. That's 549-1390. Or visit weedco.services today. Cheers!
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Tune to DK on the Sports Tip weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at iccu.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Well, at least the Diamondbacks got a split from their weekend trip to Mexico City.
Full count 3-2 on Ildemaro Vargas. Vargas slams it toward the right field corner, and that one is gone. He's done it again. Ildemaro Vargas. He has hit in 20 consecutive games to start the season. He's hit in 23 straight, dating back to last year. It's another Diamondback home run, and it's 7-2.
Two-seamer, top of the zone, covered it.
I mean, this young man is just unbelievable. 367 average, 6 home runs, 20 RBIs. He's hit in 20 straight games this year. 23 dating back to last year. I added him to my fantasy team, Dragon Ball, and I did win this week, so there you go.
Well, at least he kept it up when you picked him up. Because usually the thing is that when you pick up a player that's hot, that's when they start tailing off a bit.
The Diamondbacks trailed big time. They were down 7-1 at one point in this game, and that was going to the bottom of the. I'm sorry, they were down. Yes. 7-1. Yeah, 7-1 going to the bottom of the sixth. And they got a run back on that home run by Ildemaro Vargas. And then they busted open in the 7th of this game down in Mexico City. How about Tim Tawa?
Tawa launches one toward the left field corner. That one's headed for the wall. And it's gone! Tim Tawa has hit a grand slam in Mexico City. And the Diamondbacks are back within 1.
You don't expect Tim Tawa, since we're talking Diamondbacks, you can give me our intro there, Dragon Ball.
Diamondbacks download. Baseball talk.
Yeah, baseball talk. Tim Tawa with a grand slam. But even with that grand slam, the Diamondbacks still were not winning in the game in that 6th inning. They would put a couple guys on, though, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. would come to the plate.
Tying run at third.
Carroll is the go-ahead run at first. Lourdes hits it.
Fair down the line. Vargas is home. Go, Corbin, go. He's on the move. They're going to send him home. Here's the relay. He is safe. Lourdes Gurriel gives the Diamondbacks the lead after they trailed it 6-1 and 7-2.
He's back.
He's back. Some Pena power here in Mexico City.
Now, I don't know what the whole Pena power thing is with Lourdes Gurriel Jr., but we'll have to look into that right there. So 6 runs in the 7th, 4 in the 8th, 10 runs against one of the best bullpens in baseball, the San Diego Padres. And the Diamondbacks avoid the 2-game Mexico sweep as they had lost the initial game on Saturday, but they win on Sunday by a count of 12-7.
I've got an answer for your Pena power
what's
question.
What's Pena power? Tell us.
It is due to his pineapple-like dyed yellow hair.
Ah.
So that's Pena power as
is
in
it
pineapple
yellow now?
power.
I don't even like it's been so many colors with Lourdes Gurriel Jr. that I just don't really pay attention anymore.
Listen, as someone who dates somebody that likes to go ahead and have their hair colored in many different colors, you don't ask questions. You're just like, oh, this one looks nice, and then you move on.
There you go. There you go.
Rule of thumb for everybody out there, dating advice included.
Diamondbacks 15-12. They are off tonight. They are 3.5 games behind the Dodgers in the National League West, and they will hit the road. So the road trip will continue. It goes from Mexico City to Milwaukee now, where the Diamondbacks will open up a series against the Brewers, and that will start tomorrow at 4:40. They'll be on this road trip, 3 games in Milwaukee. Then they'll head down to Chicago for 3 games against the Cubs before coming back to take on the Pirates. And the Mets got swept by the Rockies.
There's some soul searching happening out in Queens right now.
Rockies, wow, that's bad.
Did you see the video recently of Mr. Bichette sitting in the dugout by himself, looking at the field after they lost to the Rockies?
I heard he played shortstop.
That is the look of a man who was questioning life decisions. I mean, he's got the money, but now he's like, is it really worth it?
Man,
is this what I came for?
I was loving life playing for a league championship team in the American League, and now I'm on this train wreck here in New York, this subway wreck or whatever you want to call it.
I mean, at this point, it might be a dumpster wreck because they're sliding downhill very quickly.
Oh, my gosh. How about what happened with Arizona alum Rob Refsnyder yesterday? So let's go to the 9th inning in St. Louis between the Mariners and the Cardinals.
So Refsnyder down, no balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Strike 3 called. Refsnyder, he challenges that right away. A changeup called for strike 3 on the corner. Yeah, that was way outside.
That was way outside. Wow.
Yikes.
That's how bad that one was. That was really, some of these are close, and then that one was just not. That was not close whatsoever to being a strike. So that was Rob Refsnyder does not strike out. He comes back and works the count full here.
Wow, went 0-2. Thought you had him struck out. Overturned. Now all of a sudden we're at 3-2.
Romero. The pitch. Swung on. Tanked. Left field. This is on its way. It is gone. Goodbye, Rob Refsnyder into the Mariners bullpen, and the Mariners have taken the lead in the 9th.
Man, he went down on strikes, overturned that strike 3, went 3-2, got a sweeper he could handle, hit that ball into left field. Now all of a sudden, Mariners are up 3-2. Wow.
So Rob Refsnyder gives the Mariners not only a 3-2 win, but they sweep the Cardinals in St. Louis. It's not been a great start for the Mariners, and it's equally not been a great start for Rob Refsnyder. He's only hitting .121 so far this season, but his second home run of the year was a big one, and he is starting to swing the bat a little bit better of late. He has 3 hits in his last 5 games, but yeah, struggles so far early in the season for Rob Refsnyder in his latest home here. This is a young man that's played now. I think he's played with 6 teams over the course of his now 11-year career, but the last remaining big league member of that 2012 national championship team for your Arizona Wildcats. Had 4 years in Boston, first year in Seattle, Minnesota, Texas, Tampa Bay, Toronto, and New York. And he's also been with a couple of organizations, the Diamondbacks being one of them, Cleveland being another, that he did not play in the big leagues with, but was in camp in the minor leagues with. So he's been with a number of organizations. Has Robert Refsnyder, 35 career home runs, a career .252 hitter. So he'll start to heat up. 121 is not going to be Rob Refsnyder's batting average the entire season. All right, Cricket is back with us, and let me see if I can remember which camera it is. It's like you go away from this. Cricket is hey, there we go. We got it right.
Hey,
right.
Good job.
All right, so Cricket, we have just been lost the last week without you to make us think and broaden our minds. And so I need some music.
There's music now?
Yes. This is not me. This has been JW
I need
did
some
this.
music now.
JW's been doing this was doing it the week before you left.
I need some zen to go along with whatever great things you're going to tell us in Cricket. Scott, quotes.
The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things.
I know this one.
Who is that?
That's Ronald Reagan.
Very good. What?
That's my dad's favorite president. I'd be I'd be punished if I got home and I didn't know that one.
Good job, Dragon Ball.
I cannot believe you know all of this, Dragon Ball. I mean, he's just. Are we keeping track of how many he gets right?
He's got everyone, I think.
I wouldn't say that. Well, let's not do that. Otherwise, it's going to start looking like, okay, this guy's got no time on his hands.
We're going to have to change it to Cricket's got quotes and Dragon Ball knows who said it.
Or and Dragon Ball's got answers.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dragon Ball's a nerd.
Hey, me too. I feel like we think alike. Me and Dragon Ball think alike. It's
apparently
it's
so
strange.
Ronald, say one more time, please.
Now let me open this quote back up here. The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things.
Okay, so did he say that was that in a famous speech? Was that in an inauguration speech, or
I am not sure. I did not make note of that.
Okay. We don't know that one, Dragon Ball.
The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He's the one that gets the people to do the greatest thing.
Okay, so now that's got to be part of it too. Is Dragon Ball?
Dragon
Ball's got to do
an
the
impersonation.
Got to do the impersonations too now. Wow.
Impersonation.
Goodness gracious, we've just gone off the rails with this whole. See, something gets born and it becomes something you didn't even know what it was. Even
you
greater.
had no idea.
Exactly. Cricket's got quotes. Dragon Ball's got answers and impressions. This is something we can enter into a contest. I think we can win awards for.
I think that Dragon Ball needs a sponsor.
Yeah.
Oh.
We gotta. I'll get the crack sales staff on that, and we'll get a sponsor for this whole thing.
Sponsored by the Pima County Library Association or something.
There you go. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Are they doing business with us yet?
I don't know.
Expect a call, Pima County Library.
I love that. Go get your library card, kids.
Yes.
All right.
Learn about these quotes yourself.
Exactly.
I haven't gotten one of them, man. I feel like I'm just dumb, compared to y'all. My goodness. I think then, all right, well, we'll just move on. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported, Sarita Road east of Rancho Sarita Boulevard, some slowing. Rita Road and Old Vale Road with northbound slowing. Grant and Wilmot's clearing. Westbound slowing on Grant Road at Wilmot. 53, the overnight low, 85 and sunny tomorrow, 80 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Once you dabble in Taco Bell's Luxe Boxes, including the $5, $7, and $9 box with its triple double crunch wrap, you might think dinner includes a chauffeur. It doesn't. However, it does include a drink. Choose your Luxe Box at Taco Bell today. For a limited time while supplies last. Specialty drinks excluded, tax extra.
It's DK on the sports tip. Did you hear what we were talking about? The kids who actually have the money to go out there and play tennis. Why haven't we produced any of them? DK on the sports tip, Monday through Fridays at 3, right here on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Breaking news for your home. Wayday is here. It's Wayfair's big sale, where you can score the best deals in home, like up to 80% off with free shipping on everything. Plus surprise flash deals all Wayday long. You won't find better deals for your home anywhere else. We're talking furniture, decor, rugs, and more, all at Wayfair, and all up to 80% off during Wayday. So don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Wayday now through April 27th to score the best deals in home.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Progressive presents Heroes That Keep Truckers Going. Today's hero, all the furry four-legged co-pilots out there. Pets like Axel, Bandit, and Smokey, who may not understand humans but do listen to you rant about young people today for hours. Thanks, heroes. Know what else keeps safe truckers going? Saving an average of $6,181 when they elect to share their ELD data with us. Get a quote at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. 2025 National Average Safe Driver Enrollment Discount Savings for new Progressive customers. Excludes mandatory program participants. Not available in all states. Driving data could increase or decrease premiums at renewal.
So hot. Hi, can I help you? Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team. But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought. This AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money, so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000. Use code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Treydan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Treydan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Call Treydan today at 520-200-1600. That's 520-200-1600.
Advisory services through Treydan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Treydan Estate and Treydan Tax. Additional disclosures at TreydanWealth.com.
Download our app. It slaps. Nobody covers Southern Arizona sports like we do. Don't miss out on any of the highlights, stories, and analysis. The flagship home for Arizona Wildcats athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents today in women's sports. Caitlin Clark is back. Number 22 stepped onto a WNBA floor for the first time in 9 months Saturday as the Indiana Fever opened preseason play with a 109-91 win over the New York Liberty at Barclays Center. The superstar went right to work, scoring the game's first bucket, then hitting her signature step-back three moments later. Injuries derailed Clark's sophomore season, limiting her to just 13 games. Now fully healthy, the excitement level is high for for year 3.
My first 2 years of my career is like everything feels like it's really, really good or it's really, really bad. And, that's just kind of how pro basketball works, whether it's on the men's side, whether it's on the women's side. You kind of just got to stay right in the middle. I think that's going to be important for our team. It's a long season. The hard moments that we went through last year as a team, and then obviously having our core back, we can rely on that type of stuff.
Indiana has 2 more tune-ups before the regular season opener, May 9th against Dallas. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Jody Jackson on Westwood One.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Do you consider this guy one of your Arizona Wildcats draft picks?
2nd and 8, looking for the double pass, throws it downfield. He's going to overthrow, picked off by Prysock, and the Cats with their first interception of the season. Here's the snap, kick is up, blocked. And it's not even going to get there. I think somebody got a hand on it, and the Cats turn him away.
It was blocked. Someone got a hand on it off the edge, but I couldn't quite see who it was, but it was definitely blocked.
That someone was Ephesians Prysock during that 2023 season in which the Arizona Wildcats won 10 games. Our question of the day over at Wildcats 1290 Twitter, how many U of A football players were drafted this past weekend into the NFL? Was it the 4 that played for Arizona last season? Genesis Smith, Dalton Johnson, Michael Dansby, and Treydan Stukes? Or was it the 7, those 4, including the 3 that went to Washington, who played for 2+ seasons each at the University of Arizona, Ephesians Prysock, Takario Davis, and Jonah Coleman? Right now, 60% of you saying, including Dragon Ball, 4. Just 4 is the number. 60-40 right now, 4-7. Eric John Garcia checks in on our Twitter account. He says, David and Dragon Ball, my question for both of you, do we refer to the old adage, once a cat, always a cat? Or did the new era of NIL kill that saying? He hashtags DK on the Sports Tip. Thank you, Eric John Garcia, for chiming in. Dragon Ball, do we refer to the old adage of once a cat, always a cat? Now, if you listen, if Kelvin Efon, the captain, was here, he would say absolutely. If you've put on that uniform, and as you mentioned earlier, Dwayne Aquina, as Dwayne Aquina would say, spilt blood for this university, you are always a cat.
Yeah. Okay, when we say that once a cat, always a cat, I don't want to necessarily say that it's a situation where, we can't claim them because they went to blank, blank, or blank. It's more so the situation of, did they go into the draft representing the university? That's more so kind of like what I'm thinking of. And then when you talk about guys that spent 2 years, they played 2 years, they bled for 2 years, and they sweated out in that Arizona desert sun during those practices, like, no, absolutely, once a cat, always a cat. But you're talking about, like, can you claim those players were drafted from your university? That's when I have to raise the question of, I would say more so the guys that go in wearing the uniform on draft day are the ones that you can really claim versus, they were there for 2 years and then they spent the last 2 years someplace else.
Interesting stuff there. 520-848-1290. Head on over to our Twitter account and get your vote in right now. How many Arizona Wildcats football players were drafted this past weekend? Was it 4 or was it 7? I say 7. Dragon Ball says 4. Right now, 60% of you are saying 4. Jump in on that. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. All right, we got a lot going on tonight. We've had a lot happening this weekend. We do have some awards to hand out as well today. Even though Arizona baseball did not, as Dragon Ball watches his hockey team try to if you're wondering what Dragon Ball is leaning back in his chair watching over there. Very
nervous here.
It is 2-1. The Penguins are leading the Flyers in the second quarter. It's 3-1 in this series, but if the Penguins win tonight, they're going back home, right? Because this is
in Pittsburgh.
Oh, this is in Pittsburgh.
So
okay.
This one, if it wins, it goes back to Philly.
So it is 2-1-1. Okay, I wasn't sure because I thought the home team wears white in hockey.
No, the road team nowadays is wearing. It used to be white home jerseys, but the other part of it too is I don't know if I could go ahead and handle seeing Dave Lavender around the office and hearing him from his Phillies and Flyers. Oh my goodness, I don't know if I could have, because Dave has come in. Dave came into the room that I was in when I was doing traffic every single day after the games and before the games because he just wanted to talk and make me nervous. I know that's what he was doing.
Dave is a huge
big Philly guy.
Big Philly guy for sure. All right. Well, okay. I think I don't, because now that I'm aware that I thought this was the last home game for the Flyers, but they are on the road today, so they actually will get one more home game in if they lose tonight. So
yep. And
not nervous time quite yet.
One loss and you're eliminated, man. One loss and you're eliminated. For me, it is nervous.
Yeah. I do want to play you, though, here, something that we were talking about, the draft picks. I do want to hear, let you hear, if you missed this, what Joe Salavea, and you can play this from your side, Dragon Ball, what Joe Salavea, the defensive line coach of your Arizona Wildcats, said about the three at the time, because we weren't sure. We knew that Dalton Johnson and Treydan Stukes and Genesis Smith would be drafted this past weekend. We were not sure about what other players might get a chance to go, and it ended up being Michael Dansby was the fourth in that. But here's what Joe said about the top three guys and what their teams were getting in them.
Those three athletes there, those are the byproducts of patience, consistency, and development. In the world of going to the hot ticket, chasing whether it be the financial being, those three there are pillars of what it means to be patient, to be here, and then having taught the game from when they walked into the building to the end. And I think those are the things, whatever teams that are going to be able to pick up, whether it be Dalton, Stukes, or Genesis, they are going to get five-star people to begin with. And to see those young men in my short time here in the building, it's phenomenal. I'm a former player in the NFL. Those are the young guys that I would like to come in the locker room, because those guys that don't run away from the work, right? And those guys are going to give themselves a chance because they have truly, truly put it on film from year one to year 2, year 3. And we always talk about our guys' progression. You cannot be a player that looks the same every year. You have to elevate and perform each year. It'll show a lot of the track record of where you're at, because you might be a hot hand in your freshman year, but if you're not so at the end of your journey, well, these organizations are looking for the very players that are going to come in and contribute to elevate their game, because the ultimate goal is a Super Bowl. Anything else then is not good enough. So those three young men there are so fired up for their families. And wherever they're going to be at, they're going to do great, because I think they were able to be a part of a culture here that didn't accept nothing but their very best, and being a catalyst of consistent hard work, finding their edge, right? Because those guys did the extra, the in between, the unrequired in the short time that I was been here. And so I'm fired up for them, and going to be rooting for all the guys that are going to get their numbers called. And even if they don't get their numbers called, those guys are going to do some great things moving forward.
Unrequired. That was a term that kind of came out mid last season. You've got to do the things to be great. You can do the things that are required. Practice, working out, lifting, all of those things, watching film. Those are the required things. But you've got to do the things that are unrequired to be great. And that might be going out on your own and running routes for your quarterback, Noah Fafita, when outside of the main practice time. There are those types of things. If you want to be great, you've got to go out and do the unrequired things as well. 520-848-1290. I want you to hear a little bit what, again, you've got two guys now, not only that got drafted this weekend, but got drafted to the same team in Dalton Johnson and Treydan Stukes. They're going to be teammates again as they begin on this NFL journey. How cool is that? I want you to hear what Dalton Johnson had to say a little bit in his press conference, his opening press conference with the Los Angeles Raiders, about getting a chance not only to have this opportunity to play in the National Football League, a fifth-round pick, but getting to do so alongside his U of A teammate, Treydan Stukes.
Yesterday they drafted your teammate, Treydan Stukes. I was wondering how much are you looking forward to the opportunity with playing with him at the next level?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. That's my boy. We're best friends, and being drafted is one thing, but being drafted to a team that I get to go somewhere with my best friend and continue this bear down brotherhood. I'm super excited, and we're ready to take that leadership and turn Las Vegas up.
Dalton, this is Hondo Carpenter. Congratulations on your journey to the NFL. You have a unique ability. You are a thumper in the run game, but you also have the speed to cover slot receivers and tight ends. Would you just talk about that's a very unique skill set for how you play? Can you discuss that for us, please?
Yeah, I always say, I was brought up in football too late because, I love to hit. There's no more eye power, no more fullbacks. So, you just got to develop as the game goes, and it's changing to, more spread offenses. So I really had to develop my my pass coverage side of the game. And, shout out to Coach Gonzalez, our DC at Arizona. He put me in great opportunities to allow me to expand my defense to that standpoint. And, like I mentioned, the game is changing. So, I got to be ready for it. And always had the tackling ability and just the physical side. So being able to showcase my ball skills and all that, just want to be a complete DB. Didn't want to just be put in a box as, a run fit safety or anything like that.
Hi, Dalton. Just wondering what excites you about coming to the Raiders, and what was the call like that you got today?
Yeah, no, I mean, the Raiders are building something special, young team up and coming, and we're going to do it the right way. I'm excited to be a part of it. And just a phone call, I seen it pop up, Las Vegas, Nevada, and, just seeing that pop up, and, it instantly hit me that I'm going to be there with Stukes. And it was one of a kind. Could barely hear the call because my mom was crying so loud, but just that moment is something I'm going to remember forever.
Dalton Johnson talking the other day after being drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders. So we got a decision to make.
The autumn wind is a pirate.
Oh, man, this is one of my favorite of all time.
Blustering in from sea, with a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash. with a silver hat about his head and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Great stuff there. Great stuff there from the legendary John Facenda. I mean, just gives you goosebumps. Goosebumps. So we got a decision to make. We got a decision to make here at Wildcats Radio 1290. We may allow you to help us make that decision. We have been we were the home last year of Carolina Panthers football, and I said that it came down to the Panthers and the Raiders. Last year, we had an opportunity to get both of those franchises, but now we got a couple guys on the Raiders. So we got a couple guys on the Panthers, a couple guys on the Raiders. Should we renew with the Panthers? Or should we move to the Raiders? I will eventually make that a question of the day. But if you want to chime in a little early, if you want to get your thoughts in early on that, 520-848-1290. You can call the show. You can text the show. Should we remain a Panthers affiliate? Or should we become a Raiders affiliate? Dragon Ball, I'll let you have a quick first say on that.
I think just based on locale, you're closer to the Raiders than you are to the Panthers, and you definitely got some guys that I think that you could definitely make an argument that Stukes and Dalton are going to have a chance to be starters in that Raiders defensive backfield. So, yeah, no, I absolutely could see us going to the ways of the Raiders, although it's weird saying that, do we move to the Raiders? Because usually it's the Raiders move to you.
His name is Dragon Ball, and he is here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
This week I'm here all week. Other times I'm all week in traffic.
Raiders move to you. All right. Man, see what I deal with, people?
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your...
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions that are reported Sarita Road east of Rancho Sarita Boulevard, Rita Road and Oldvale Road and Rita Road, Grant and Wilma and Grant Road, and also major collision occurred Stone Avenue near Fort Lowell on Stone Avenue to the south of Fort Lowell. Just a heads up there, please avoid Stone Avenue to the south of Fort Lowell. And for your weather, 53 the overnight low, 85 sunny tomorrow, 80 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Spring into deals at Lowe's with select 1-pint annuals for just $2. Plus, get a free additional Cobalt 40-volt 2AH battery when you buy a select Cobalt 40-volt dual. Valid through 5/6 annuals offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Need parts fast? Need them now? O'Reilly is fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly Auto Parts stand apart. Right now at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts, you can get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 qualifying brake rotors. Ask the professional parts people about additional brake pad and rotor upgrade options available at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app?
Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000. Use code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
It's DK on the Sports Tip. Did you hear what we were talking about?
Sonny, you're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
First of all, I want to congratulate you on your show. I'm really glad and appreciate the show that you guys put together, bringing what I think is sort of quality local radio.
This is a great radio station. You guys, high school and everything, and this is a great radio station, sports-wise.
Well, we appreciate you saying that, Victor. Thank you so much. DK on the Sports Tip, Monday through Fridays at 3, right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Lately, big corporations have been buying up local plumbing and HVAC companies. But we're still here, still family owned, and still accountable to you. Right now, we're offering AC startup for just $29 to make sure your home is ready before the heat rolls in. And if you need a new system, we're offering 24 months, no interest financing. And remember, don't do it the wrong way. Call Cummings Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. When it's our name on the truck, it matters.
For heating, air, and plumbing, call Cummings. This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Prevagen. Prevagen, made for your brain. Victor Wembanyama returned to the Spurs lineup last night as the Spurs defeated the Trailblazers 114-93. The Spurs trailed Portland by 17 points going into the half, but held the Trailblazers to just 35 points in the second half to take a 3-1 series lead. The Spurs will look to close out the series in Game 5 Tuesday night back in San Antonio. I'm Adam Abdallah.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Save $10 on a pair of Bosch Focus wiper blades. Our professional parts people will even install them for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
For the second consecutive week, Arizona baseball has the pitcher of the week. His name
The
is
pitch coming from Flada
Flada.
McChesney, and that's inside ball. Oh, strike 3. Oh, McChesney doesn't believe it. He turns around to talk to Michael Morris and takes a very slow walk back to the third base dugout. Flada out of the wind, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. There's that 86-mile-an-hour fastball from Luke Flada. He's now struck out 6 tonight. Luke Flotta, the story of the night. He leads the Big 12 in strikeout to walk ratio and showing us why tonight. Pitch to him, swing and a miss. Strike 3. 8th strikeout on the night. And the 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 out in the inning. Graham has struck out 3 times facing Luke Flotta tonight. Here comes Chip Hale, and that's going to be it. What a night for Luke Flotta. I tell you what, considering on short rest what was asked of him tonight, 6 2/3 tonight of shutout baseball. He struck out 11 and walked none, and the fans will let him know as he heads to the first base dugout.
Yeah, that was the one bright spot of the weekend for Arizona baseball. As they won that game 7-0 over BYU. They could not, however, pull it together to win a series, losing Friday night and Saturday afternoon with Owen Kramkowski and Smith Bailey on the mound. Smith Bailey, who struck out 15 in his prior start, but could not follow that up with a dominant performance, and the Wildcats lose 2 out of 3. And I just don't know if this team has what it takes to get into that short series format we've been talking about. They are right now holding that 12th spot, so if the Big 12 tournament started today, they would be in, but I just don't know if I'm holding out hope that they've got enough. They definitely don't have the offense, I think, to win on a lot of those days when maybe Smith Bailey or Owen Kramkowski are good but not great, and they give up 3 to 4 runs over 6 or 7 innings, which, again, in college baseball, you'd like to hope you can win on a lot of those days, but with this offense the way it is right now, I just don't know if that's the case with this team, and to ask them to try to win 5 days in a row. I'm beginning to be less optimistic about that than I was, say, maybe last week. But we'll see. You still got 3 weekends to go. They'll play tomorrow night in a non-conference game. I believe tomorrow's their final non-conference game against GCU. All right. Texas Tech won the Big 12 softball championship this past weekend. The Wildcats are fighting for the number 2 seed, and they did a really good job of sweeping Houston thanks to the play of this young lady over the weekend.
Shockey's had a pretty good series. 6 for 6, 5 runs. This one slapped towards short, gloved by Esmond, but she's not going to have a play. And you can get an appreciation for why so many defenses throw an extra infielder out there, because when she's only got 4 waiting for her, it's just easy for her to find some place to drop it. Mounting a furious 7th inning comeback as Shockey sends this one to the left side, gloved by Esmond, has a hard time on the exchange, and there's the 8th successful trip to the plate this weekend for Shockey, her 7th base hit. As the 0-1 to Shockey, chopped over the circle, and will be a 9th successful trip to the plate. Correction, 10th. That's her 9th hit. She walked in the 2nd.
3 hits and 3 RBIs on Sunday. 9 for 9 at the plate on the weekend for one Regan Shockey, the junior out of Chino Hills, California. That is about as good as it gets, folks. She scored 8 runs this weekend as the Wildcats put a whooping on a not very good Houston team, which they should have done. But that's pretty incredible. I like that. I mean, she has now hit in 5 straight games, with 3 of those 5 games being 3-hit games for Regan Shockey. And in all of those 3-hit games, she has scored 3 runs. So if she gets on, generally Regan Shockey is coming home.
Yeah, not a bad weekend. I'll probably get your point or your percentage of batting average up by about maybe 8 points.
Actually, she entered the weekend hitting .419 and she exited hitting .452. So she got 30. What is that? If my U-High math is correct, 33 points out of that this weekend. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, 9 for 9. 9 for 9. You're not going to argue with that.
Nope.
Ladies will be on the road to Utah this weekend. All right, Dragon Ball's taking a breath because it's the end of the second period, but his team is back on top 3-2.
And Sydney was back out there after
Flyers
taking
trailing the Penguins.
Yeah, and Sydney's back on the ice after taking a slapper off the knee, so that's a good sign.
All right. Let's give you your Casino del Sol replay for today.
The Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home
You know, I was
of
at a-
award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
Clancy Shields joined us on the show. Arizona men's tennis headed back to the NCAA tournament. They're going to host this weekend, and it is the second straight year they'll do that, coming off a Big 12 regular season championship. Clancy loves where this program is right now.
You know, I was at a dinner, donor dinner this week, and I listened to Coach Brennan talk about sustaining success. And I was a little tickled by it because I'm really proud of that in our program here. We have sustained success, and in a year where people thought we would be dropping off, losing two of our better players. Well, we've gotten better, and we've achieved the highest seeding we've ever had in our program's history of number 8, which means we'll host the first 2 rounds, the regional, and if we are fortunate to get through those for the first time in program history, we would be hosting the super regional to punch our ticket to the Omaha or the Oklahoma City for baseball and softball fans. But we are excited about this group. I'm super grateful for the players and the team. I mean, we won 16 in a row leading up into the finals of the Big 12 championship, and I'm a little bit happy that we took a loss, and I think the team is really ready to make a deep run here in the NCAA tournament.
I want to ask you, when you made there, when your staff kind of pulled you aside and said, look, we got to maybe send that different message, how long does it take for that to resonate? Is that something that resonated like the next match, or was it something that took a few weeks for the guys to kind of figure out?
Well, we end up losing to LSU to qualify for National Indoors, the final site, and they end up being, they're the number 6 seed in the NCAA tournament. So it was a tough, 4-3 match. And so we didn't play any matches for 2.5 weeks. And so it really allowed us to just get back. And, one of the things I think we all have blind spots and we all can't see them, and having great people around you who can help point out those blind spots is important. But also just, hey, apologizing. Hey, guys, I got this wrong, and I'm sorry. Like, I was seeing it a certain way, and it needs to be this way. And forgive me, and let's move forward, and let's commit to this process. And really what changed it for us, we went to the Diablo tournament, which we've won 3 years in a row, and we played Michigan State, who's 16 in the country, played Santa Barbara, 30 in the country, and then at the time we played the Sun Devils up there, and they were 11 in the country, and we just found it. We found our soul. We found our team's heart. And from then, I think the guys really believed in what we were talking about and what we were preaching. And you got to have a team that believes in the coaches and the staff and the mission of what we're doing. And you have to have some results in order for them to do that. And so that was a really nice moment. But then again, I also say great teams lead from the middle, and we have got the greatest captain, senior, human being. Jay Friend is the epitome of everything that's right in college tennis. I love that kid to death. The guys love him. They will do anything for him, and he's been the most incredible leader we've ever had for the season.
Today's Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, Arizona is the 8th overall national seed. On their side of the bracket, if they got to that 3rd round, which they could host, you've got Oklahoma is the 9th seed, national seed, but also on that side in Norman, Duke and USC. So you could have a meeting with your old Pac-12 counterparts coming up next weekend if you advance. Thanks to Clancy Shields for joining us. Thanks to Dragon Ball and Cricket. Most of all, thanks to you for listening. My name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow. DK on the Sports Tip, 3 o'clock right here. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. With collisions reported, major collision, Stone south of Fort Lowell, travel on Stone Avenue to the south of Fort Lowell, travel there blocked. Use First Avenue or Oracle instead. Also collision, Speedway and Campbell, Drexel and Alvernon, Broadway and Barraza Aviation Parkway. That's your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Burger King. Burger King has been working on the Whopper, and thanks to you, it's never tasted better. flame-grilled beef, crisp produce, and a perfectly toasted bun. Whether it's been weeks or years, come try the Whopper again for only $3.99 on Whopper Wednesday. Terms apply. Visit bk.com/terms.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Shh, here she comes.
Surprise! They sent a duplicate shipment to your flower shop! Now you have to pay for 1,000 extra carnations! Also, there's a beehive outside your store! And they're super aggressive! There's thousands of them!
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise? Saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, the egg salad you just ate was expired! Gross!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do. With press conferences, coaches shows, and play-by-play.
It is over. Cats have won it.
We bring you all the stories, highlights, and analysis of your Arizona Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money, so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000. Use code INSTANT to borrow up to $10,000.
Look, I know we live in a swamp, but our appliances don't have to be as disgusting as this. We need to replace them before it's too late.
Trick, you gotta keep Fiona happy, and I know just the place. Tucson Appliance.
Welcome to Tucson Appliance, where we have the best prices on an abundance of appliances.
If we get this one, they can deliver tomorrow. And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
Now we can live happily ever after.
Only at Tucson Appliance,
where you are our priority.
Dreaming about a new kitchen, an RV, or a once-in-a-lifetime vacation? Turn your wish list into reality with a home equity line of credit from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Borrow between $10,000 and $250,000 and save with our limited-time offer to waive fees up to $975. With Hughes One Rate Guarantee, all our members get our same low rate, no matter your credit score. Your home takes you further. Visit HughesFCU.org/HELOC. Insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender. Certain restrictions apply.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do.
Headed for the corner, he's in. Touchdown, Arizona. On the break, slap it home. Here comes the throw home. He slides, he's safe. The Cats are champions.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Big Jake here from Old Tucson. Enjoy Hollywood-style stunt shows, saloon shows, magic, shootouts, rides, games, fine food and drinks, and more. For more family fun than you can shake a stick at, head on out to Old Tucson, oldtucson.com.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do. We are the home of your Arizona Wildcats. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
The day shuts down. The games light up. This is BetMGM.